Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Joy Taylor. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so Skip, Shannon, let's get to it. Good morning, guys.
Hi, Joy.
Morning, Joy. How
Hi,
you doing?
Shannon.
I see you got on the wine, Joy. You like them old cows, huh? You want them old cows to do something on Saturday.
I would love for the Cavs to do something on
Oh,
Saturday.
they gonna do something?
I don't want to see Boston in the...
You know, I hope your man's off in Cabo or somewhere actually resting. He needs a lot of rest.
We in them therapeutic boots.
Oh, yeah?
Cryo, yeah, we getting
Really?
right. Yeah.
He's been running out of gas.
Yeah.
Needs to gas up over these 3 days. I thought he'd go to the islands, go somewhere.
For what?
Yeah.
We got plenty of time.
Yeah.
You bring the island to us. How you doing, Skip?
Um,
You good today?
I'm better than the Golden State Warriors.
Whoa, I don't know how they could lose with the best player on the planet, Joy.
I
How is
thought
that
he was
possible?
pretty great last
Oh,
night.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you think so. Go on, you go ahead, Abby. I've been waiting.
Let's get started with a big win for the Rockets. They bounced back in a big way and blew out the Warriors last night. The series is now tied 1-1. Kevin Durant led all scorers with 38, but the Rockets had 5 guys in double figures, including James Harden. James Harden's 27, Eric Gordon's 27 off the bench, and P.J. Tucker's 22 points. Let's take a listen to Harden and Mike D'Antoni after the win.
We are who we are, and we had to be who we are. We just did it better, longer. Guys believe it, and we're not going to change anything up. It would be silly on my part to panic. I mean, you don't do that. We're very comfortable about who we are, and we can beat anybody, anywhere, at any time, playing the way we play.
We focus on what we're supposed to do. We're really worried about who we're playing against. Like, if we come out and be some dogs and do what we did tonight, it doesn't matter. But if we don't, then we see the results in game 1. So it's not about chess match or what they're doing. It's about us.
Shannon, what was your takeaway from last night's game?
This is the Rockets formula. What they try to do is shoot you out the building on every occasion, Skip. They set an NBA record. Actually, they broke their record from the previous year by making 15 threes per game. And this is their formula. 16, I think they were 16 of 41. Now, they start getting in the 15, 16, 20 range, Skip. It's going to be awful difficult for a team to beat you. They did this on a night in which James Harden struggled. 9 of 24 from the field, 3 of 15 from the three-point line. But when you get P.J. Tucker, Trevor Ariza, and Eric Gordon going 12 of 18 from the three-point line, well, your superstar MVP candidate can have an off night like this, and they bring you home. So the thing that concerns me, Skip, and they played really well last night, they were shooting the ball, shot the lights out of the building. But this is the only way they can win. They don't have a fallback plan. If the ball is not falling, they can't lock you down and says, okay, we're not making shots. We're going to D you up so you don't get to make shots, and we'll break out of this. That's not who they are. They play one way. They do a lot of pick and roll. They do a lot of isolation, and it's amazing. Joe, yesterday somebody told me that Steph Curry was a top 5 in all the playoffs. Steph Curry was a top 5 defender. Did you know they put him in pick and roll and isolation more in the last 2 games than at any point in the regular season over the last 4 years in playoffs?
Or wait, are you saying somebody lied? I don't know. Wait, are you accusing me? Did I make that up? Wait, nope. Somebody gets to defend somebody's self, Joy. Somebody gets to defend themselves.
I didn't ask you, Skip. It's not your turn.
It's a stat. I didn't just say he was top 5. It's a stat. It's called defensive win shares. He was top 5. He was 4th overall in the playoffs. Go ahead.
And I tried to explain to you how flawed it was. Because when you have a team that's number 1 defensively, sometimes the guys that play in that system get overrated. That's all I was trying to do, Skip.
Well,
no harm, no foul. I'm sorry. I'm
public.
reclaiming my time.
Okay.
Can I talk? Nico, let me talk?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's not your turn. I will let you know when it's your turn. But this is the way the Rockets going to need to win this series. They're going to have to shoot lights out from the three-point line. James Harden struggled in game 2. He had a phenomenal game 1. But even though he had a phenomenal game, he needed his teammates. He needed Eric Gordon to be Eric Gordon that won Sixth Man of the Year last year, that's in the running again this year. They need him to score 27. They need to do what he did. P.J. Tucker, a career high, 22. Trevor Ariza, 19. So when you get that kind of production, it's amazing. When one team has 5 or 6 guys in double figures and the other team only has a guy that goes bonkers. Joe, he was lights out. 38 points. But 38 and you got 5 guys in double figures, you see what happens, Skip? I guess. But I don't want to talk about it right now. It's your turn.
Oh, really? It's my turn.
Yep.
Joy, do you remember that game 2 in Boston the other night? Kevin Love Kevin Love, a five-time All-Star, had 22 points and 15 rebounds. That's pretty good, isn't it?
What about the other guy?
Pretty good. I don't know. That seems like help to me. Kyle Korver scored 11 points in just the second quarter in Game 2. Just the second quarter, and then what happened? The coach said, you're out.
Whoa.
Leave the help on the bench.
I'm talking about Kevin Durant.
Yeah, okay.
He had help too. He had help too, right?
Kevin Durant last night. Joy, did you see this? He scored 30. You mentioned it in your lead. He scored 38 points. He made 9 out of 9 free throws. You ever seen LeBron make 9 out of 9?
Oh, yeah, we saw him do 15 to 15. Remember in Indy?
He's shooting 73% from the line, and you're going to lose another case of Diet Mountain Dew because you said 80% or better in the playoffs, right?
Are the playoffs over?
They're about to be.
No, they're not.
No, unfortunately. My turn.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is.
So, what if I had told you 24 hours ago, sitting in your chair that you sit in right now, that, as you mentioned, James Harden would shoot 3 for 15 from the three-point line and wind up with 3 total assists for the game? What if I told you that? What would you have told me? I know what I would have told you. I would have said, Houston, you have a big old problem, like a sweep problem, right?
Absolutely.
Wouldn't you say that?
Yes.
And then something happened last night that I didn't see coming. I will always remember this game as the P.J. Tucker game. P.J. Tucker? Do you realize who P.J. Tucker is or isn't?
He's more known for defense.
Yeah. Do you realize he's 33 years old, and after he got drafted in the second round after 3 years at the University of Texas, not 1 year, 3 years, he had to go overseas. He played in he played in Israel and the Ukraine and bounced around in Germany and Italy and Puerto Rico for 6 years before he even made it in the NBA at Phoenix. Then he went to Toronto, and you're right, his trademark became his defense. And then last night, what? He makes 8 out of 9 shots, makes 5 out of 6 threes, and scores a playoff career high, which is almost his regular season career high, of 22 points. Who could see that coming? You know what it reminded me of, Joy? Do you remember Game 4 in the 2012 finals, LeBron's first breakthrough? Remember this at Miami?
Mike Miller?
Nope, that was Game 5.
Oh,
it was the Mario Chalmers game. I always, every time I think of that finals, I think of the Mario Chalmers game. He scored 25 points that game out of nowhere. Mario? Rio, as they called him. He scored 25 points. He scored 14 in the fourth quarter of a close game.
Right.
Well, these things happen. It's just an aberration. It's a blip on the radar.
Right.
You can't explain it. You can't justify it. It just happened. Every time I look up, P.J. Tucker's making another 3. Eric Gordon made 6 out of 9. That doesn't surprise me because he always does something like that.
Yeah, he shot the ball better last night than at any point in time.
You said he's been
playoffs.
struggling, but again, in the regular season, he was a terror, man. He makes a lot of shots. So then Mike D'Antoni made me laugh out loud once again after the game. He said, "We didn't change nothing." You changed everything. The ball actually moved last night for the first time. I haven't seen the ball move like that since my Spurs got eliminated, because that looked like Spurs' beautiful basketball to me, where it's just being whipped around the perimeter. There was that one possession with 4:30 left in the second quarter, if we could see that. And all of a sudden, the ball is moving around and around and around. The speed in the middle, back out, and there he is, Eric Gordon, boom. Did that look like what happened in Game 1? Did you see that at all in Game 1? I saw dribble, step back, dribble, step back, step out, step. I saw James Harden dominate the basketball. So he went last night from ball stopper to ball mover. And you're telling me you didn't change anything? You changed everything. The whole look changed to me last night. And then, as he did say, and the one thing I agreed with, he used the old NBA adage, we got up in him. Meaning we got up in them defensively.
Yes.
And you know what? The beautiful thing about basketball to me is you can play football basketball barely within the rules where you don't hurt anybody, but you bruise a bunch of people. And you intimidate everybody. They played hellacious, desperate defense like I haven't seen them play all year. And they are capable of playing pretty good defense. But why do you think Golden State had 7 turnovers in the first quarter? It wasn't unforced errors. It was because of amped up pressure on everybody with the basketball, and they're getting a little intimidated. They're forced errors by the defense. And they took over the game, and I still thought that Golden State was going to make a run, and then somebody would make a shot, and somebody else would make a shot. And remember, Iguodala had 2 free throws with 8 minutes left in the game, and he made the first one. If he makes the second one, they cut it to 10. Well, you know the old adage there is if you cut it to 10, you got a chance because psychologically, oh, it's only down to 10, right? And then would you believe that from that point on, it's over down to the 2:46 mark, that Houston goes on a 23-5 run? That's hard to do. That's what Golden State does to people. 23-5, and it wasn't James Harden who was doing it. It wasn't Eric Gordon who was doing it. It was everybody who was doing it. Everybody's making shots in the lane. Chris Paul's making crazy shots. They just had a night in which they were so desperate because if they lose that game, it's going to invalidate 65 wins, right? It's just going to mean the whole season is rendered virtually meaningless, right? And they knew it, and they came out and played that way, and Golden State got knocked on their heels, I thought.
But last night was a sample. Kevin Durant got a taste of what it feels like to be LeBron James. When you have it go enjoy, and you're supporting cast, because when you have your starter, and he outscores the other 4 starters, you're like, whoa. But I'm trying to figure out, now Kevin Durant plays defense, Joy. He plays way better defense than LeBron James.
He does.
But I'm trying to figure out, who was he guarding? Was he guarding Trevor Ariza because he had 19? Maybe he was guarding P.J. Tucker because he had 22. Was it James Harden? Was it Eric Gordon? Or was it Chris Paul? I'm just trying to figure out because I'm looking at his stat line. I see 38 points, 0 assists, 3 rebounds, 5 turnovers, 0 blocks, 0 steals.
Well, you know who he usually guards? He usually guards Clint Capella. And then what happened? What happened? They went small. They went small.
I'm just asking you.
You realize the Hamptons 5, the small ball, the death lineup? All of a sudden, Houston said, well, we'll match you with our own
they went to the Houston Summit. That's when they got Chris Paul. They called it the Houston Summit. Yeah, they got old Tuck and Ariza.
But all of a sudden, they're going with P.J. Tucker and Eric Gordon in the lineup. So they're going with 5 little guys, right?
I'm trying to understand. Now, if Kevin Durant, who's the best player in basketball, he's got to deliver this. He's got to bring this home. I'm trying to figure out now. Kevin Durant had it going. I guess Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, they were just standing around because they was like, Kevin, throw me the ball. Throw me the ball, Kevin.
Boy, there were
0 assists.
There were times last night when Kevin Durant was just unstoppable. Do you realize he made 13 of 22 shots? The commentators, you turn the sound down, they're just oohing and ahhing like, that's a 7-foot monster. You can't stop that.
If you don't mind me asking, like I said, you mentioned I had to. What was Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson? Mark's a good friend of mine. What were they saying about LeBron on Tuesday night, Skip?
I don't know.
Were they oohing and ahhing? You had the volume up.
Well, I told you, Van Gundy finally just went off and said,
whoa, offensively.
You got to play defense. Somebody's got to play defense, and he meant LeBron.
Well, who was playing defense last night? The #1 defensive team in the postseason gave up 127. Now, was Kevin Durant on the court? Because this is how
Here's what happens. They are so good that they're too good for their own good. You know it, and I know it. What happened in New Orleans in Game 3? It happened again last night. This team goes cruise control. All this team cares about is the NBA Finals. It's like, are we there yet? Are we there yet?
So Kevin Durant
was so easy in Game 1, and Kevin Durant was a monster in Game 1, and they were monstrous defensively in Game 1, that they thought they could just kind of stroll out and take care of a little easy business last night, and you know the rest of the story.
If you don't mind me asking.
One team was desperate, the other team was in cruise control.
So Kevin Durant was who had the highest plus minus last night?
So, this is interesting because I think you're angling for a big case of do-bad here. I will give you the Rockets in this series. If you like the Rockets and you don't like Kevin Durant, if you're saying he's overrated, I will give you the Rockets straight up for a case of Mountain Dew right here, right now. Take it. It's right here in the middle of the table. You are making the case that Kevin Durant is overrated, so I give you that, and I'll take Golden State in this series. It's 1-1. It's just 1-1. And guess who has home court?
The only thing I'm willing to say Kevin Durant is he's over 6'10". That's the only over I'm hearing. But all I'm saying, Skip, is that now you're getting an opportunity. Because here's a guy that had 38 points and 0 assists. You talk about my guy who had 42 points and 12 assists that his teammates didn't know how to respond. Really? He had 12 assists. One guy has 38-0. Now, just for context, Joy, you know I love context, Joy. In 2 games, Kevin Durant has 1 more assist than me. And Joy Taylor, I haven't played basketball in 25 years. In 2 games, Kevin Durant has 1 more assist than Shannon Sharp. He has 6 more rebounds. And Skip, he's a 7-foot monster, right?
Yeah, and what was happening last night? Do they usually make
the doors blowed off him.
Do they usually make a lot of 3-point shots? How many did Steph make last night? 1 for 8? And Clay didn't even take very many. He was just 2 for 4. So Kevin made 3 of 7, so that led the team. But he's saying, because they're saying to him, Kevin, you got to shoot every shot, man. You got to make every shot.
You got a 2-time MVP on your roster.
13 of 22 was Kevin Durant. Is that good? Is that good? That
I don't
sounds
know.
good to me.
Is 16
38 points?
Is 16 to 29 good?
Interesting.
Is 42, 12, and 10? Is that good, Skip? Is that good or bad?
Okay, I'll take a second case of Diet Mountain Dew. I'll take Golden State to win the championship. You want Cleveland? I'll give you Cleveland.
No.
You want Cleveland?
Skip, I'm just trying. I just want you to help me understand.
I just helped you understand.
How can Kevin Durant be responsible for
best
38
player,
points
well,
and LeBron be responsible for 69?
Interesting. But who won that game? Did LeBron win that game?
They lost.
They lost by 13. They got blown out too.
Oh, think about it.
Wow.
My guy has 42, 10, and 12. Your guy has 38 and 0. So I wondered, was Clay and Steph just standing around like, Kevin, pass me the ball? What do you want me to do?
It looked like to me that Steph Curry was completely out of it last night. I don't know what it looked like to you. And again, you say he's overrated on defense. I thought he actually played pretty good defense last night, but they're attacking him because they think his knee is not healed yet.
They're attacking him because he doesn't play defense. You remember
he
when
plays pretty good defense. I thought he played really well last night on defense.
You watched in 2016 when they won the Cavaliers won the NBA Finals. They kept Steph Curry in pick and roll. They wanted him to guard Kyrie straight up, or they wanted LeBron to post up on him. That's how you attack him. You know that, I know that, and everybody, and they're like, hold on, wait a minute. What was James Harden doing? Whoever Steph Curry was guarding, come get the top of the key and let me get this pick and roll for you. Hey, Chris Paul, you got him now.
James Harden was 3 of 15 from 3. Somebody had a hand in his face all night.
But see, that's my point. You see what happens? LeBron James can never have that luxury. LeBron James can never have an off night. He can never, LeBron James can never go to bed and lay his head on his pillow and say, you know what? I'm going to struggle tomorrow.
It's kind of like
everything's going to be okay.
Kind of like Michael Jordan couldn't take any nights off because he was the whole show for them on offense and defense. Offense and defense.
He was the 3rd leading assist guy on his own team in '98 and the 4th leading rebounder. But that's none of my business because my guy led him in points, rebounds, and assists.
Michael Jordan in six times in the playoffs led the whole playoffs in usage rate. And how about that closeout game 6 in Utah? He scored 45, and they scored a grand total of 8. Wait a second. They scored a grand total of 87. Do the math on that. 45 from 87. Shannon, what is that?
Joel,
that's more than half the points.
Can you give me a little context?
Yeah, I'll give you a whole lot of context because he was all first-team NBA defense, all first-team defense at age 34, and your guy at 33 plays no defense.
How many shots did he take?
Interesting.
How many shots did he take in that game, Skip?
Well, it's him or bust. It's him or bust. How many Scotty score in that game? Help me out. No, you're big Scottie Pippen.
I think he scored 8 points.
8 points. Wait, so Michael scored 45 and Scotty scored 8? This is the big closeout. This is do or die because Game 7 is going to be in Utah also.
I think Kukoc had like 14.
He had 15.
But I'm trying to figure
15 to 8. So Michael scored 45. He scored more than half their points. How often does LeBron do that? Wow. And wait a second. Who led all players on both teams with 4 steals because he's their best defender?
Whoa. Hold on. You keep telling me about that steal that he had on Karl Malone. Was that a bicycle built for 2? Because if I didn't know better, I swear Dennis Rodman was guarding him.
Yeah, and Michael just snaked him from behind.
So he got a steal on a bicycle built for 2?
No, I don't think so. I don't think Carl ever saw him coming.
Exactly. Iguodala did not see LeBron. Thank you, Skip, baby. I do.
J.R. Smith slowed him down so that LeBron could catch him.
So what was Dennis Rodman's role in this?
He was just standing there guarding him. He wasn't doing anything. Michael had the presence, the IQ to slip all the way behind, steal the ball, dribble it all the way up the floor by himself and say, Scotty's over there going, I'm open. And he goes straight up and holds the pose. He held the pose. You know what? It's laughable that you would ever bring up Michael Jordan and LeBron James.
No, you're not telling the whole truth.
Yeah, I am.
You're not telling the whole truth. Jeff Hornacek ran through the lane. Michael Jordan was trailing Hornacek. Malone thought he had gone through. Jordan turned around because he was posted up on Dennis Rodman and stole the ball. So in other words, it wasn't like Michael stole the ball and nobody was between mailman and the basket. Dennis Rodman had him, and he didn't see Michael. So in other words—
So what? He made a great steal. It was incredible.
That's all I wanted you to say.
Yeah.
So what? LeBron James made an incredible block. That's all I wanted you to say, Skip. That's it.
An incredible block.
It was.
Who made the shot of shots? Kyrie made the shot to win the game. Michael did both. He stole the ball and made the shot.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. If he doesn't make that shot, they go to overtime. That's not clutch. That's what you told me. Yeah. You told me if LeBron James missed those 2 buzzer beaters, Joy Taylor, we go into overtime. So it's not clutch. All Kyrie did was hit a shot. If he misses it, we go to overtime.
I had to do this to him, but he screwed up again. He stepped in his own trap once again. It's 87-86 is the final score.
Yeah, why? That was not the final score.
Yes, it was.
LeBron James hit a free throw. LeBron made it a 4-point game.
No. The Jordan game.
I'm not talking about Jordan.
Well, you just said it was.
No.
The shot go to overtime. No, it was do or die.
No. You said Kyrie. I'm talking about Kyrie's shot against the Golden State Warriors.
I thought you said the Jordan shot is do or die.
No, yes.
Do or die. It's 87-86.
What you try to do was minimize Bronze by talking about Kyrie took that big shot.
No, I'm just saying Kyrie took the shot to win the game. Whether, again, anybody can take that shot.
It wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing because if he misses, they go to overtime, Joy. Because that's what we said. We had a debate last week. How clutch was those shots? You and Rob Parker told me.
I'm not trying to make the case that Kyrie is better than LeBron. You're trying to make the all-time dumb case that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan.
I ain't making no case. LeBron James did this. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't making no shots. That's LeBron doing that to you. Be mad at him. I'm just a messenger. That's all I am. I'm just a mouthpiece. LeBron's doing he's painting. All I'm doing is going to put it, I'm Sotheby's. I'm Christie. All I'm going to do is put it up for auction, Joy. Bron is the painter.
Okay. So let's do it right now. I got Golden State for a case of Mountain Dew to win the championship. Well, you don't wait. He's the best player on the planet. He's better than Michael Jordan.
No.
Well, have some guts.
Hold on, time out.
Have some courage of your convictions. Have some guts.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Seriously.
Hold on, just a second.
Well,
now, you're telling me, I say that LeBron is better than Jordan. You say, no, he's not.
Well,
you say, hold on, okay. You said Kevin Durant is better than LeBron. So Kevin Durant should be the GOAT. So why would I go bet against the GOAT?
No, that's what I think. But you think your guy's the GOAT.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Okay, we'll take him. I got my guy for a case of Dew.
I got my guy on Saturday.
Well, big deal against the Boston Celtics.
Oh, now it's the Boston Celtics. After you just hyped them up, you know what's
going on. Well, speaking of Saturday, will the Cavs come back to beat the Celtics?
Absolutely.
No mercy. Hey guys, it's Joy Taylor. Before the show moves along, I wanted to talk to you about Buffalo Wild Wings. This time of year brings us 2 things, graduations and Father's Day, and the gifts that go along with them. Before you buy Dad another tie or that grad a balloon that will probably float away, ask yourself this. Does my dad or grad like wings or sports or better yet, both? If the answer is yes, then get them a Buffalo Wild Wings gift card. Right now, if you purchase $30 worth or more in-store or online, they'll give you a $5 bonus to keep for yourself. That's a gift that gives back. How generous of you. Buffalo Wild Wings, wings, beer, sports. Terms and conditions apply. Now back to the show. No mercy. LeBron and the Cavs are down 0-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals, but the series shifts to Cleveland for Game 3 on Saturday. The Celtics have won the first 2 games by double digits, but after the loss on Tuesday, LeBron said he's, quote, not going to lose sleep over it. LeBron must have those special... Did you send him Shannon Sharp sheets?
Yeah, no sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man come a long ways.
Hyperbaric chamber, boots.
And he's no ways tired.
Yeah. What has to change for the Cavs to win Game 3, Shannon?
LeBron is going to be LeBron. Kevin Love has done a great job in the first 2 games of being Kevin Love, the Kevin Love that we expect him to be, the all-star. Now, LeBron needs to get what James Harden got last night. His role players do their role. JR, we need something. Okay, JR only averaged 8 points on the season. Can he give us 8 instead of 0, Skip? Can George Hill give us 9, 10 instead of 3? That's all. Just your role players. P.J. Tucker filled his role. Trevor Ariza filled his role. Eric Gordon filled his role. If the role players do their job, I feel very comfortable in saying the Cavs can win this game going away. The Celtics have the better of the 2 teams, top to bottom. But LeBron James is worth 3 people. Worth 3. So I expect him. I don't want him to be as aggressive as he was in game one. I need him to conserve a little more energy. So instead of 21 points on 13 shots, Skip, maybe give me 12, 14 on 8 shots and give me like 4 or 5 of them old assists. Because the problem was he had 21 in the first quarter, everybody else had 6, and he only had a 4-point lead. And it took a lot out of him. It's kind of like you're running a race, Skip. You know, you got to get a pace. Do I really want to lead the entire race? Well, if you're a middle distance runner like the great Hakim El Garouche, the greatest middle distance runner ever lived, Joy, you can run from the front, the back, the middle. It didn't matter. But LeBron in this situation, go get me 12, 14 in the first quarter, 4 or 5 assists, and I need JR. JR, you better than this. I know it. You know it.
So here's what I can't get through my head.
Thick head.
Maybe I'm just
stubborn.
I'm just not smart enough to grasp this concept.
What?
But on one team, you have the best player on the planet who's better than Michael Jordan.
Yes.
And on the other team, you don't have Kyrie, an all-star, and you don't have Gordon Hayward, an all-star. And for that matter, you don't even have Shane Larkin, who was playing 14, 15 minutes a night off the bench as a real fire starter of the second unit. And Daniel Tice was playing big for them, 12, 15 minutes. He's on the bench in street clothes. And so you're telling me that Boston team is better than this Cavs team? I don't get it, because only 5 can play at one time. And as you just said, 1 is equal to really 3 or 4. Maybe.
But here's the thing, Skip. You look at the Celtics player, Jason Tatum, 3rd overall pick. Marcus Smart, 5th. Jaylen Brown, 3rd. You make Al Horford, top 5. You make it seem like they got bums.
They're not bums.
Okay,
but
then.
They're not that
Talk
guy.
to me.
No, you talk to me.
No. But here's the thing.
Help me.
Skip. The days of a single player being able to carry a team, those days are over because the teams are too good now. The teams are too good. They shoot the ball too well. And the thing that the Boston Celtics do, they play hard, they play scrappy, they play physical from the time the ball goes up until the horn goes off at the end of the game. So this is what the Cavaliers are going to have to match, is their intensity. And you can't have that lapse in the third quarter. That's been their bugaboo all season long. The third quarter, they have a lead, and they give it all back in the third.
Okay, so here's what I can't get through my thick head. You just told me that LeBron James has to conserve energy. Conserve energy. I've given you this all season. He is playing at the highest offensive level of his entire career, which is really hard to do in your 15th year, to play the highest offensive level you've ever played at.
Yes.
That's all around your knowledge, your vision, your feel, your different shot making. He's got the whole toolbox. It's very impressive what he can do in big spurts on offense, but that's at the expense of playing any defense. And again, I really love basketball, so I was deeply offended, having picked the Cavaliers, having to watch LeBron in Game 1 and especially Game 2 play little to no defense, where he's just playing one-man zone, standing in the lane, standing under the basket, and his man is roaming free on the three-point line, shooting wide-open threes, and I can't get it. He's better than that. He's in better shape than that. I don't even know why he has to drift on offense in the second and third quarter, because clearly he spent a ton of energy in the first quarter, and it was spectacular to watch. But then all of a sudden, as you said, the score is only 27-23 at the end of the first quarter, because Jaylen Brown had been running free at the three-point line and shot 3 wide-open threes and made all 3 of them, and that kept it reasonably close.
And got a backdoor dunk.
He did, and all of a sudden you're saying, wait a second. They took that punch right in the mouth from LeBron James, and it's only 27-23.
You're right, Skip.
And then he scored only 4 in the second quarter, and he scored 7 in the third quarter, and they're drifting on offense. He's not attacking. Again, I love him in attack mode when he can get in the lane and make things happen for his shooters, and he wasn't doing it, and you can say they weren't making the shots.
Skip, what does 12 assists suggest?
It was good. It was good.
So it tells you that he was getting in the lane and he was making.
Yeah, but it didn't sustain. It wasn't in the. I can show you the score of the second quarter and the score of the third quarter. They lost the third quarter 36-22. Yeah. So when you're the best player by far on your team and you're setting a pathetic tone on defense that no one can follow, George Hill's a good defender. I've seen JR play at a high level on
he did a great
defense.
job on DeRozan.
Tristan can do a good job on defense, and there's no reason they can't do what we saw Houston do last night. This is a one-game scenario because you're in some trouble. If you lose this game, you're down 0-3. I'm pretty sure you're not coming back, but I could be wrong. Right?
The likelihood of somebody winning 4 straight, even with LeBron on the team, is not very good.
So this is pretty close for LeBron James to do or die, right?
Yeah.
So you need to come out the way the Rockets did last night. As I said, that was hellacious, desperate defense. That's up-in-you defense, where it's physical to the point of football physical, but it's not over the line. It's not cheap shot. It's not dirty play physical. I've seen this team do that to Golden State. They get up in them pretty good.
But what you also saw was P.J. Tucker and
okay,
Trevor
I got it. Somebody's got to make shots. I've seen these other guys make shots before.
So have I.
I've seen Kyle Korver make a bunch of shots.
Well, Skip, you remember the last series. Kyle Korver averaged 14 points a game. JR averaged 12 and a half. And in the closeout game, JR was a perfect from the floor. Now, I don't expect him to go perfect from the floor. Kyle Korver had a monster game.
Yeah.
All we're asking them to do is to do if you give us what you gave us in the regular season. I don't think that's asking too much for JR. I know JR is better. JR was not engaged. From when they jumped the ball up, you can tell by JR's body language, he was not engaged.
Some nights, he just ain't there. I don't know what happens. He just drifts completely away.
But Brian had to talk to him.
Yeah, all right.
Had to talk to him.
All right.
Watch how JR play. Watch JR on Saturday. And watch Bron, because, see, LeBron can never have a game, Joy. Can you believe that? 0 assists. How do you play a game? You got Steph Curry, the greatest shooter of all time. Klay Thompson, a top 5 shooter of all time. You got them on the court, and you can't pass them, get them one shot?
So once again, Shannon is desperately trying to change the subject off what we're talking about, which is during the regular season, LeBron James ranked 309th in individual defensive win shares. That is pathetic for a player of that category.
Where do you rank offensively?
He was high, second to James Harden.
Hold on, no.
I'm doing PER, player efficiency rating.
KD got to be higher than him. What was KD? Oh, he's down there. He was below. Guess what?
Somebody's trying to change the subject.
Okay, we talk about the Cavaliers.
Now we're back to the Cavaliers, and the best player on the planet, even in the postseason, has plummeted all the way to 74th in individual defensive win shares. He just plays little to no defense.
Where's he in offensive win shares?
Well, he's good. He's good. So, again, you're going to have to sustain that. But guess what they've done? Boston, during the regular season, ranked 18th in offensive efficiency, and that was mostly with Kyrie Irving. So 18th, so they're not even middle of the pack. There's 30 teams total, so they're in the bottom half. And guess what? In game 1, now this is at home, but they scored 108, and then they came right back in game 2 and scored 107. It's just too many points because they are going to hold you down because they're the number 1 defensive team. So your team, the Cavaliers, led by LeBron James, who's better than Michael Jordan, scored 83 in the first game and 94 in the second. So they couldn't even crack 100 points, but they gave up 108 and 107 because the whole team is uninspired on defense. They're better than that. You can't play that way. And if they play this way in game 3, it's going to be 0-3.
Better case of Sprite. They get over 100. Better case of Sprite.
At home?
They win. Yeah.
Well, they should.
Okay,
how can they not?
What you just talked about, they got 83 and 94.
Yeah.
They were on the road.
Yeah.
Everybody love home cooking at home.
Yeah.
So come on with it then.
Well, what I'm saying is I need to see them play some defense to hold Boston down. Is Boston going to go over 100?
I don't care what. They might get 200, but we'll have 201.
Well, are you happy? How do you defend this
I'm happy about
lack
winning.
of defense?
I'm happy about winning.
Do you realize a team led by LeBron James in the regular season fell all the way to 29th out of 30 teams in defensive efficiency? How do you explain that? How can you defend that?
And lose a top 5, top 6 point guard and still win one fewer game than they won last year. How did they? You want me to explain that? 2-3 from the 3-3-0.
Well, he's made first team all defense 6 times.
6.
To Jordan's 12 times, but he has done it before, and now he has to conserve
himself. No, he
himself.
made it 6 times first team.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Michael made first team 12 times, 12-6. 12-6.
Yeah.
And again, I'm trying to explain to you, in overall usage rate, how much time you have the ball in your hands in the playoffs, Michael Jordan 6 times led the whole playoffs, including 1998, his last year in Chicago, in usage rate.
Because he has to have the ball.
Okay, but I'm saying he's burning a lot of energy on offense, LeBron's led the playoffs one time in usage rate, just one time. Okay, so 6 times Michael did, but all these times he's still the best defensive player on his team.
That tells you that Michael Jordan was ball dominant. LeBron James, how many times has he led the playoff in assists? Michael Jordan.
Well, again, he's just scoring. How many times did he lead the league in scoring? 10 times.
Skip.
LeBron's led it one time.
Skip,
10-1.
Skip, there's more to offensive basketball than scoring the basketball.
Well, then they went 6-0 in the finals. That's because he's the best player by far. And he's the best player on offense and the best player on defense.
Let me ask you a question. Is it better to be 6-0 in the finals or not get out the first round?
Well, I'll take 6-0 in the finals.
Oh, because we know. Because I just want to know those first 6 years. Did they not play the finals? Because why wasn't he there? He was the GOAT. Now the GOAT's supposed to be able to get to right. So I'm just trying to figure.
The Eastern Conference was by far the dominant conference.
You know what? And you keep talking about LeBron James has scored 15 or fewer points 25 times. Well, when you're getting swept, Joy, you're not in the playoffs very long. So guess what? You get to keep all these records. You get to keep them intact. So when you get swept 3-0 in the first round, and 3-0 in the first round, and 3-1. That's what happened, Skip.
So Michael broke through with his first championship after 7 years, and it took LeBron 9 years?
And LeBron was still younger.
Oh, okay.
Because LeBron was a baby. You know, you like to use that term, a baby. He was a baby. And at 22, took a team to the finals.
It still took him 9 years.
At 22, guess what Michael was getting done to him? Bounced in the first round. Get up out of here.
Eastern Conference was the Beastern Conference then, and now it's the Leastern Conference. Every year LeBron has played in the East, it's been the weaker conference.
If you don't mind,
15 straight years to look it up.
So that was the stronger conference, right?
What? The East was, yeah.
So what y'all gonna do about Magic playing in the West all those years? Well, I need somebody to tell me.
But they were dominating the West.
So, hold on. I just want to make sure I'm hearing you. So, Magic dominating the West, and it was the weaker conference. LeBron dominating the East is the weaker conference, but there's a problem. But I'm trying to figure out why there's a problem.
All I'm saying is Michael had the bigger obstacle to climb in the East. And all of his big playoff series, when they were going 6-0 in the finals, they all came in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Were any of those Knicks teams, were any of those Magic teams, or those Heat teams, were they comparable to the Big Three Celtics or the Bad Boy Pistons?
No.
No. So I need
they're really good.
I need no. I don't need really good, because LeBron beat some really good teams. I'm talking about LeBron and the Cavs took down a 73-9 team. They took down a 60-win team in the OKC Thunder. I'm just trying to figure out why couldn't if Michael is this guy that we say, and I love Michael. I got all the shoes, Joy. I probably spent over $100K in Jordan shoes, so I love that man. But I'm just trying to figure out why couldn't he beat them?
Okay, all I'm trying to figure out is, to keep us on point and on subject, is that LeBron's 33, and he plays little to no defense, and it's all offense in spurts. But Michael led the playoffs in usage rate and scoring and won a scoring title at age 34, a year older than LeBron, and was first-team all-defense. He was playing both ends of the floor as hard as you can play it.
You do realize that at this age of 33, LeBron James has more minutes on his legs than Michael Jordan had at 40. You do realize that, right, Skip?
Okay, I kept asking you all year long, why are you playing the most minutes in the whole league? And why in the playoffs has LeBron played the most minutes?
And
then you tell me he has to conserve energy. That doesn't make sense.
Hold on, Skip. Because if he doesn't play the most minutes in the regular season, they don't make the playoffs. If he doesn't play the most minutes in the playoffs, they don't win games. That's why they're here. Think about it. Now, we just did the story 2 days ago where this would be, if the Cavaliers were to make the finals, they would be the third worst team to ever make an NBA Finals. Why are we even Why are we even talking about that?
That was somebody's opinion.
No.
It wasn't my opinion.
No, they did
I
analytics.
tell you that.
No, you love numbers. You love analytics. You're an analytics guy.
Well, that was an opinion. That wasn't analytics.
Yes, it was.
Oh, please, that was an opinion.
Oh, my goodness. So now we don't like opinions.
Well, not when it's...
That's what we do all the time, George. That's what we do.
Well, I mean, we have opinions based off of facts.
Yeah, that's what they did. They did numbers.
Okay.
They did numbers. They did win shares. They did the players. They did all that. Yeah.
But you got the best player who ever played, playing at the highest offensive level ever, but you're still a pathetic team.
And
and
never got swept.
I don't get that.
In all these years, never, ever got swept in the first round.
You can't have it both ways.
Never lost in the first round.
I want to see LeBron play offense and
making
defense.
the finals.
No.
Yeah.
They didn't give out no rings the first 6 years to somebody I know either.
Yeah.
Oh, he did get married.
No mercy.
Next up, Bleacher Report graded every NFL team this offseason, and we've got bad news for Cowboys fans.
Ooh.
Your team got a D. They said Dallas had a solid draft class, but the release of Des Bryant, retirement of Jason Witten, and lack of cap space all played factors in the low grade. So, Shannon, do you agree?
I'm getting married. I do. I do.
Are you really?
Because everybody in the AFC East got B's. Every other team got B's except your team.
Oh, well, congratulations on your marriage.
Yeah, I'm getting married to this story right here.
Who's the lucky lady? I don't
Be beating up the Cowboys again.
right, okay.
First of all, Skip, look, I get it. Jason Witten was not that guy anymore, and we both knew Des Bryant best days were behind him. But here's the thing. You got to replace him with something, not just a body. Allen Hurns, I don't care. He's not an upgrade over Dez. We keep talking about Rico Gathers, and he had a great preseason last year, Skip. But do we really know what he's going to be? You said he had a serious hit. He missed the whole. He was on IR because he got a concussion.
He did.
So we
it
don't.
was beyond a concussion. It was a serious head injury.
Okay, so we don't know.
We don't know
how he's going to come back.
He's
from
been
that.
tweeting that he's 100%, but go ahead.
Maybe the Cowboys are saying, you know what? We get Zeke back. That's like a draft pick. We get a healthy Tyron Smith back. That's a draft pick. We got Cam Fleming from the Patriots. We're going to put him at right tackle. We're going to kick Lyle Collins to his natural position.
They are.
Maybe those are draft picks. Maybe that's how Jerry's looking at it.
He is.
But the way these people are looking at it, the draft, the picks that you actually selected and what you've replaced a lot of the guys that walked out of that door with, D. Now, there are a couple of teams that got D's. One team got an F. I agree with that one, too. The Raiders. You got on black today. So, obviously, you're going to be in mourning about these Cowboys getting this good old D. It don't feel good, do it?
No, it doesn't. But I do agree with it, mostly. I told you I thought the whole free agency period was one big yawn. I told you
Love it.
And I told you the draft was one big, long yawn. Not one pick made me say, oh, wow. Oh, that could be interesting, So they swung and missed at Sammy Watkins, who would have been the replacement, obviously, for Des Bryant. And I don't know what happened, but they said they were in the Derby and they lost. Usually, Jerry, when he wants his man, he gets his man. So I don't know how hard they went after
Roy
him.
Galloway.
I agree. And then they acquired the artist formerly known as Tavon Austin, and I'm not sure that's Tavon Austin anymore. I just don't know who he is. So,
Skip, the creative mind of Sean McVay could not find a way to get Tavon Austin on the field and get plays out of him. But Scott Linehan will.
Probably not.
Okay.
So now I'm going to raise it to a D+ because of what you brought up. Cameron Fleming is pretty good, and he didn't require a lot of money. They're paying him like $3.5 million on a one-year deal, but he started a bunch of games at right tackle, and he started 4 games at left tackle for the New England Patriots and Tom Brady. And he was a 4th-round pick out of Stanford. He's a Texas kid originally from the Houston area. So I think this is a really good fit to put him at right tackle, and Lyle moves back to natural position. And you still have 3 of the best other offensive linemen in football. Did they underachieve last year? Yes, they did. Can Tyron Smith get and stay healthy? I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. But if he does, you're going to be in some trouble. Because he is simply the best. He's definitely the best run-blocking left tackle in football.
He's a top 3, top 4 left tackle in all of football. The question is, Skip, because we've seen these injuries start to mount for him as he starts to age. And the one thing we know about the
back, old.
But it's the wear and tear that he's the mileage that's on his body. And backs don't get healthier as you age, Skip.
Probably not, but you never know. So, again, best case scenario for this team, because here if you look at what is there as opposed to what didn't get acquired, I still say he's the best running back in football. You say he's second best, whatever, but I'll take first best. Is he going to stay out of trouble? I don't know. If he does, you're in trouble. And I still say the quarterback is a top 5 quarterback. I'm going off QBR, and he was 3rd as a rookie and 4th last year in a year in which you gave him an F. I think he's top 5. We'll see. I think he's going to have a bounce back kind of year because he lost all of his weapons and much of his offensive line. So all of a sudden, you could have the best offensive line in football back intact.
Right.
But
you got to throw it to somebody.
Okay. All right. But you can hand it to a lot of people. And you brought up Rico Gathers. He is a monster. We saw it in the preseason.
Yeah.
And I think they're quietly banking on him being beyond Jason Witten as a target because he's a basketball player from Baylor, as you know, 6 feet 6 inches tall, and he can run a little bit.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be an upgrade, not in, sort of intangibles or leadership. Obviously, you can't replace Jason Witten there, but maybe he'll be a little more explosive player at tight end, right?
You and I both know you're not running your back. They ran their way to those titles back in the 90s. You're not running your way to a title now. You better have a quarterback that can throw it. Now, I like Dak, and I believe he will continue to improve. But you and I both know he's not a top 5 quarterback as we currently talk about this topic. But do I believe he'll be better than he was last year? Absolutely, because he strikes me as a man, a young man that will get into the lab, see what he did wrong, see how team defensive tried to take what they tried to take away from him, and he will build on that. But you're asking an awful lot. You're like, okay, Tyron Smith's going to be healthy. Ezekiel Elliott. I don't believe Zeke will get in trouble. I hope he doesn't get in trouble. But the problem that you guys have, Skip, is your depth. If somebody, like I said, okay. So Sean Lee goes out. You counting on Esch? What's his name? Leighton Vander Esch. Vander Esch. I mean, that don't sound like a linebacker name.
It doesn't sound like a football player. But go ahead.
I mean, it's like Lewis or Urlacher or Butkus or Nitsky. It doesn't Singletary. Vander Esch.
Leighton Vander Esch? Didn't he go to Harvard or
something? Yeah. So you guys don't have any depth. I still don't believe in your secondary. You should have gave up that second-round pick that got Earl Thomas, because Earl Thomas can change it, because he can. Hey, he like good makeup, Joe. That old Mac. I'll go to that old Mac counter, cover up all them blemishes.
Maybe it'll still happen. Still out there.
No, he ain't come. Nope.
You don't know.
Nope, because you didn't want to do it. So now Earl is going bye-bye. He's going back to Seattle.
Well, maybe not. Still out there.
What you know? What you trying to say, Skip?
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, you are saying something.
I'm saying it's not over. That deal's not kaput yet. It's still percolating.
Oh, so you are insider now, huh?
No, I'm not. I'm just telling you it's still got some potential. Maybe not high potential, but some potential. Which brings me to my defense. They did re-sign DeMarcus Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
And he is one of the best pass rushers in pro football. And David Irving, if he can stay out of trouble, which is debatable, he is a monster in the middle of that defensive line, and I think one of the more underrated interior linemen in football.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You believe DeMarcus Lawrence is a contract year, or this is who he is? Because we've seen guys play really, really well, Joe, in that contract year. Woo! Guy get 100 catches, get like 12, 15 sacks, get like 8, 9 picks, rush for 12, 1,300 yards in that contract year. So is it the contract year, or is this more of who he actually is?
I don't know. That's a good, fair question. Okay. We will see what we will see. My gut feeling is, because I've seen lots of flashes from him last year, I think he's going to be a stud pass rusher for the next 3 or 4 years. And that brings me to the best linebacker in football, Sean Lee. And
Stop, Skip, why you do that?
He's the best linebacker in football.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
He's not better than Kuechly. He's not better than Wagner.
He's better than both of them. He's smarter than both of them. He roams better. He is.
First of all, Kuechly went to Boston College. You know what it takes to get into Boston College?
You know what it takes to get into Penn State?
Yeah, be able to run fast and jump high.
It's linebacker you.
It is.
They learn to be linebackers.
Whoa, stop.
Yep.
He's not no Jack Ham. He's not in that kid.
I think he is.
See, Skip, why?
I think he is.
See, Skip, you want to see Joey, he that one friend. You playing jokes. You're like, okay, you like, and he all, and you throwing water balloons, and then he comes with a trash can of water when you're sleeping, dumping on your head.
Well, I mean, what was their record without Sean Lee?
1-5.
Did it?
And the one was against.
How long has Sean Lee been there?
The one was against Kirk Cousins. So you know how that.
Sean Lee's been there like 8 years.
Yes,
Sean Lee's been there 8 years. They won 1 playoff game, Skip.
Yep.
So what was going on?
And just remember, all those kids they drafted in the secondary, they were all rookies last year. They're all sophomores this year.
What, do they have a sophomore slump?
I don't know. What if they figure it out? I kind of like my
You know, you're doing a lot of what ifs.
You know,
what if Zeke stays out of trouble? What if Tyron Smith's back is healthy?
All I got to tell you is, if those things happen, if all the things go right that went wrong last year, this team could easily go 10-6. That's a conservative estimate, and it's definitely going to be a playoff team, and you're going to owe me another case of Diet Dew.
I had a dog one time, Joy. If he had a square butt, he pooped blocks. But it was round, so we already know.
Well, sometimes you just need a little bit of luck, you know?
Oh, whoa. The Dallas Cowboys need luck, not America's team.
Everybody needs a little
No,
luck.
need no luck.
Need a little break.
Amundsen said victory awaits the man who has everything in order.
Who's Amundsen?
Luck. You know who Amundsen is. Oh, you're an English major, don't know Amundsen?
I don't know Amundsen.
Is LeBron to blame for all the drama around the Cavs? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
ESPN's Brian Windhorst wrote yesterday that the Cavs are battling, quote, organizational fatigue, and it's something that past LeBron teams have dealt with as well. Windhorst says that LeBron's teams always have a win-now mentality and don't develop young players. He also writes, quote, the players get sick of one another, they get sick of the coach gets sick of the players. Shannon, what do you make of this?
I can understand it, because when you have LeBron James on your roster, he brings expectations, and with expectations come pressure. LeBron James is one of the few players that's ever entered into the NBA. No matter what his roster looked like, he's expected to get to and win NBA Finals games. He puts so much pressure on an organization, because we hear, oh, we want to win. Well, LeBron James says, show me. Spend up to the cap, over the cap, because this is what I need. Skip, is different than football. You know, in football, you break up offense, defense. You break up, you know, tight ends have their meetings and wide receivers have their meetings. You can't do that in basketball, Skip. Everybody is right there in the same meeting room every single day. And in football, you travel the day before the game, you're back out there after the game, and you're back home. On basketball, it's day after day after day after week, and you see each other. And with the expectations of that pressure. Now, it's not easy playing with an all-time great player. I had the luxury of playing with John Elway. Made my job so much easier. But they are very, very demanding. There's very expectations. Shannon, you got one job. When I throw it to you, you need to catch it. Yep. And I don't need to hear, well, they did this, or the wind, it was raining. I throw you the ball, you catch it. LeBron James says, okay, everybody has a job here. Now, I know I have the more lion's share of the work. But when I throw you this ball in the corner, you need to make that shot. When I hit you on this outlet pass, you need to make that layup. He puts so much pressure on you. It's not easy, Skip, and it starts to grind you. We're starting to see this in New England. Now, it took a long time for it to come to fruition, Skip, but this is what we're starting to see in New England with the expectations of getting to and winning Super Bowls year after year after year. And that's what LeBron James does. He puts so much pressure not only on himself, but on you as an organization to make sure that you're spending and you're bringing the best players in. But I tell you what, everybody keeps saying, well, you know, they get fatigued. I know 29 other teams would love to have a LeBron James, Skip Bayless, because you know what happens? Your house, every home game that you play will be sold out. Yep. Every time you go on the road, will be sold out. That is true. That also means the value of your franchise will go up, because if LeBron James were to leave the Cleveland Cavaliers, let's take a look at what their value is as a team is right now, and once we leave. And once he leaves, you'll see what happens. Did I say we? Once LeBron leaves. Us. You said we. I did. Skip, I didn't mean to say that out loud. I mean, that was subconscious.
It's totally out on the table. It's just who you are and who
No,
he
it's
is.
not.
Yeah. So, by the way, you made the New England comparison. Remember, in New England, the coach has gotten more and more jealous of the quarterback. The coach is battling the quarterback for credit.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Quietly battling.
Yes.
Right? Behind the scenes. So that's not what's going on in Cleveland. I don't think Ty Lue cares about any credit. I don't see that or sense that.
Because he'll never get it.
Well, he would never get it. Okay, but even if he wanted it, he doesn't ever hit me as a guy who is trying to position himself, angle for credit. Right.
I agree.
Nothing he says post game is, well, I want to remind you that I
drew up this great play.
No, he doesn't do that. Maybe David Blatt did that occasionally, and that got him fired. Right. So in this case, speaking of Ty Lue, he is on the record as saying he believes coaching the Cleveland Cavaliers, not just LeBron, but coaching the Cavaliers is the quote-unquote hardest job in sports. Yeah. And I would agree with that. I think Dan Gilbert's no walk in the park either. No. Right?
Right.
Because you have an owner who is I don't care. You can have Kobe Altman or whoever you want to throw in there. Hey, Dan Gilbert's running the show as a basketball man. At least he's signing off on every. What happened? Remember, they flew his jet down to, where was it, Tuscaloosa, to watch Trae Young against, who was it, Colin Sexton?
Yes.
And he took the whole scouting group in his plane, but he went.
Right.
He was the head of the scouting contingent.
Normally,
right?
the owner sends the contingent to go, you go look at the player and let me get the information.
Okay, well, that should tell you what you need to know. And I think again, Kobe Altman does the legwork and he brings him potential deals, but the deal is closed by Dan Gilbert.
Right.
Well, that's hard because now you have an owner and a superstar who should have never reunited. I still can't believe the superstar gave in and buried the hatchet instead of burying it in the guy's head, after what he did. He accused you of quitting?
Yes.
Wow.
Call you classless and the so-called king.
The so-called king, and that's when he took his talents to South Beach, and then they reunite and they have this sort of...
He gonna sell LeBron. He gonna sell LeBron the team.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, I believe so.
You got some inside?
No, I don't got no inside, but for him to come back, Skip, you got to promise me something.
Yep. So poor Ty Lue, who seems like a really good man, he's coached this team for 3 years, and it looks like he's aged 10 years and 3 years.
He got more gray hair than I do.
Right?
Yes, he does.
And it required, what did he miss? 10 games for...
Heart, couldn't sleep, couldn't eat.
Or what was it? No, 9 games. 9 games he missed where, I don't know, he's just, stomach wouldn't work.
He missed more. Remember, Skip, he was coaching the first half and wouldn't come back out for the second half. So Larry Drew had to fill in for him on 2 or 3 occasions.
Yep,
not to count the games that he actually missed.
Yep. You can't tell me that's just not organizational stress, right?
Yeah.
So, obviously, LeBron is one of the greatest players ever, but he's different than Jordan in this way. He's moodier. Like Michael was just always the same. And Michael didn't create drama behind the scenes. I know he had his issue off the court and he got suspended he was asked to step aside for almost 2 years.
He punched Steve Kerr in the eye. Okay, what did that got to do with it?
Well, that's...
Bron ain't punching nobody in the eye.
No, that's true. Michael is like crazy competitive. He punched Will Perdue in the eye.
Yeah. He know who to punch.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Lord have mercy.
He needs to pick on somebody his own size, right?
Yeah. He the old Shay Sharp.
Yeah. That wouldn't have flown.
No.
No.
What?
Huh?
Technically, Schlereth punched you in the eye.
Nah, that was in the game. Because if he punched me in my eye in the locker room, I promise you.
But I never heard, I covered the team, and I never heard a discouraging word about Michael from anybody else. They loved him, and he energized that franchise. And from day to day, he would always just be the same guy, just driven, like crazy driven to win games. LeBron likes social media. He likes to be passive-aggressive on social media, drop hints about this. I don't have enough help. We need to do this. We need to do that. It's constant. What is he saying? What's he doing? It just creates some tension behind the scenes.
Skip, I think the biggest thing is, in the history of the NBA, no player has ever had the power that this young man has.
That is true.
And he has no problem swinging it. And when he swings it, things happen. He forces an organization, Skip. Everybody talking about, well, we want to win, but they don't spend or they don't do the things necessary in order to win.
Yep.
When he comes to your organization, you've assured him that you want to win and you're willing to do what's necessary in order to win.
Yep.
Be it acquire players or spend above the cap, which means go into the luxury tax. Dan Gilbert assured him that he was going to do that.
He did.
Now, I have it from a very reliable source that LeBron was pleading with Dan Gilbert not to trade Kyrie. Bring Kyrie to camp, whatever the differences is. If he wants to take more shots, even though he took more shots in the regular season.
He did.
Whatever I need to do not trade Kyrie. I'll work it out. We'll get it done. Okay. And Dan Gilbert did it anyway. And
he didn't have to.
He didn't have to because he had 2 more years.
He did.
And if it had ever gotten out that Kyrie was going to have surgery on a knee that he didn't need surgery on at the time in order to try and force a trade, I don't believe Kyrie could have ever recovered from that publicly. That would have been a PR nightmare because we've never seen a situation, Skip, where a superstar, a guy of his caliber, deliberately do something because he couldn't get his way. I don't believe Kyrie could have recovered from that.
Yep.
But they did it. And it wasn't so much that they did it, is that what they got back in return, Skip, were beans. They got Isaiah, who was busted up.
So
Skip.
they got took.
Yeah,
okay.
They got had.
But Boston also kind of got had in a little different way. But Kyrie was damaged goods too. Yeah. And once he finally said, "I got to get this cleaned up,"
right.
then it turned into something even worse. And obviously, he's not there.
Right.
Okay, so they were both damaged in their own. But I think the damage is worse on a. God bless him. I hope he comes back. He finally had surgery, which he should have probably had a year ago.
You're probably right. And that's the thing, Skip. I mean, having these guys, but you don't think the Lakers had expectations? Now, they had a very unique situation, Skip. They win the title 1 year. The next year, they get bumped out of the finals by the Rockets. I think they got kicked out by the Rockets. And the next year, they get James Worthy. You don't normally see teams that win the championship 1 year get the number one overall pick 2 years later.
Nope.
That doesn't normally happen. When you went to the Celtics, they weren't developing players, Skip. They were trading for Dennis Johnson. They were trying to bring in Bill Walton. We trying to win right now.
Still not sure how the Celtics got Larry Bird, but whatever.
Well, what happened was back then, Skip, you could draft the guy while he go back to school. You get his draft rights when he came out.
But it's just crazy. It's just like, how did you pull that off, Red Auerbach?
I mean, the Lakers, you get Dr. Jerry Buss. Dr. Buss was telling the story. He said, "I buy the team."
Yep.
They had the number one overall pick. If you take Magic Johnson.
Yep.
Well, they got Kareem. Skip, where do you do that at?
I got it. So bottom line to this, Kyrie just told Dan Gilbert, "I just can't take the drama anymore. I'm just tired of all this stuff that we just talked about. I want out." And I'm still surprised Dan Gilbert let him out and actually allowed him to go to a team that's a challenger.
I don't know if it's true, and I hate my grandma say, "Boy, I told you about talking behind people." That means repeating what I heard. But I had heard from a very reliable source that even though Kyrie was tired of this, what really upset him is that someone told him that they were trying to move him.
No, they did. Yep.
And that guy, he said, "Okay, if you want to move me, I want out."
That's true.
So that was the crook. Yeah. Did he want to be his own boss? Did he want to navigate his own ship? Yep. Sure he did. Was he upset with some of the things that were going on in the organization because LeBron's team had privileges that his team didn't get? Sure, he has even less privileges now in Boston that he had in Cleveland.
That is a
fact.
But
once he got wind that they were willing to move him after the performance that he had, Skip, because he was averaging 28, 29 points, like 5 points or 5 assists, 5 rebounds in that series against Golden State. And then, as you mentioned, the shot the year before, he played unbelievable.
That is true. So bottom line to this is that Kevin Love is the only teammate who's made complete peace with, "I'm going to be the fall guy. If I don't play well, everybody's going to say, 'Oh, you let down the king.'"
And changed completely who he was. Kevin Love was a 26-14 guy with his back to the basket. And they turned him into a stretch. "No, Kevin, you're not posted up. You're shooting threes."
Yep. So who did LeBron take to the podium with him after game 2?
Love,
Kev.
Oh, Kev.
Oh, he's back to being Kev now?
Oh, Kev be dropping them dimes, dropping dimes.
No mercy. Steph Curry struggled in the Warriors' loss last night. He was just 1 for 8 from 3 and got exposed on the defensive end. Curry has been targeted on more isolation plays in the first 2 games of the series than in any game in the past 4 years. Let's take a listen to Steve Kerr and Steph after the game.
We were trying to be too cute with our exchanges and our switches and all that stuff instead of just manning up playing one-on-one defense. Whether they score or not, as hard as we're working on the defensive end, they're working that as hard on the offensive end to get shots up. So that was the difference between game 1 and game 2. They made a asserted effort to turn those one-on-one situations into a little bit more ball movement, and we were just a step slow, myself included.
It wasn't Steph's best night. He struggled 1 for 8 from the three-point line. Slow start for him. I thought in the second half he got a few things going. I'm not worried about Steph. He's the kind of competitor and player who will bounce back from a tough night. But it's just one of those nights.
We're joined by FS1 NBA analyst Jim Jackson. Welcome, Jim. Good morning.
What's up?
How much blame does Steph deserve for the loss?
I don't think it's so much Steph. I think it's got to give a lot of credit to the Rockets. I mean, if you take a page out of what Cleveland did with Steph, I think a couple years ago when Cleveland was able to get over the top and win it, they were very physical with Steph.
They were.
Not only on the ball, I think what's more important when you're playing defense is how do you guard a guy off the ball before he gets it?
Right.
And they're very physical with Steph. And now when he catches it, now he's 25 feet out. And he has to really try to beat you off the dribble.
Right.
They're bodying up. And I think the officials are doing a great job, too, just letting guys play. So I don't think it's so much Steph not being Steph in regards to his play. Now, he's struggling with a shot, of course, not able to get a lot of separation, but it's what Houston is doing to Steph to frustrate him a little bit more and being more physical. So that's what I think.
But Skip, he's always been a defensive liability.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not what he's not an on-the-ball defender. He's not a Chris Paul. He's not a Patrick Beverly type point guard. So what they do, they play great help team defense. And as he mentioned, he says some of our rotations were slower. We got a little careless and all that. But in order to any great offensive player, what you got to do is make him work on the defensive end.
Big time.
And that's why they keep putting him in these pick and rolls. They want him to guard. They want to take some of that zap out of those legs, so those 30-footers that be splashing in the first quarter, they're not doing that late in the third and the fourth quarter. And and plus, we got to factor in, he was away from the game for 5 weeks, Skip. He basically was out 5 weeks. He missed the first round, and then he comes back. So basically, he's trying to get a rhythm. He's a rhythm shooter. And the good thing for Houston, he doesn't have that rhythm yet. You just hope he better not get it in the games 3 and 4. Because it'll be over and you'll be going back home 3-1. But, Skip, it's not all him. Kevin Durant, had 1 assist in 2 games. He had one more assist than me, and I ain't left my couch. So, and it's also his job as the best player on that team to get Steph going and, and to help out. Get some of those rebounds, too, because Draymond can't get all the rebounds.
You're on your defensive point. You know what's different, though? In this Houston series, unlike other teams that Golden State had to play, you got 3 or 4 guys when they switch can go at Steph. Other teams really don't have that on the perimeter, are creative enough that if Steph gets switched off, that you can get bailed out. Houston, you got 3 guys that can go right at Steph.
So before I answer, because you take another shot at Kevin
I ain't
Durant,
taking no shot at nobody,
I'm going to take a return shot because if you want to talk defensive liability, let's talk LeBron James.
I knew
He's the biggest defensive liability in the whole playoffs, bar none. He's plummeted to 74th in defensive win shares. It's by far the worst of his career. Next question. Now, you started it.
He couldn't help it. I thought we were talking about Steph and Houston.
Okay, I'm going to talk about Steph in the big picture and the little picture. Do you guys realize that this 2-time MVP has never lived up in the postseason to his regular seasons? He just routinely has been, just do PER, and I won't go into the gory detail of it, but his PERs are routinely down in the postseason. And by the way, he's won 2 rings, and in those 2 finals, he was not the MVP. Obviously, Iguodala.
But he did play good last. Give him credit, Skip.
Okay,
last year in the finals, he played unbelievable.
Okay, I won't go unbelievable. He played well. He played close to his, but hey, when your guy broke through from 3-1 down, he was horrible. Because I looked it up in games 5, 6, and especially game 7. He was 4 of 14 from 3 in game 7, and he had 4 turnovers, 4 and 4 in 5, 6, and 7. He wasn't very good, and he became a defensive liability. Now let's go little picture. I'm still convinced he's not 100% healthy, and Houston knows it, and they are taking advantage of it, because you know what happens when you have a grade 2 MCL sprain. On any sort of side-to-side movement that you can't control, it can bite you, right? Because it's probably not 100%. I'm guessing because I don't know. But if you put him in the pick and rolls and you side-to-side him, well, as you know, defending, you can't predict where you have to go. On offense, you can control your own movement a little bit so you can be a little more effective on the offensive end. But on defense, I'll bet it's nipping at him. It's just he's side-to-side. He's trying to go here. He's trying to go there. And these guys, last night, they were moving the basketball, and he was having a hard time staying in front of everybody. I thought he fought hard. I thought he gave high energy on defense, but they are attacking him, trying to put him in pick and roll and isolation, and I'm just convinced he does. It's looking like 2016 all over again when he missed 6 of the first 8 games with, I think it's the very same injury. Okay, so that bodes well for your guy. If your guy can survive Boston, maybe you got a chance this time. Maybe Steph won't quite be that guy.
Well, are you going to count on Klay doing what he did? Because if Klay is more like game 1, he didn't play particularly well yesterday. And Klay is an elite defender. But Houston, the Rockets have 2 of the best pick and roll guys in all of the NBA, Chris Paul and James Harden. That's what they do very well. And so now this is the matchup we want. We want we want Steph having to guard James Harden up top or Chris Paul. And Chris Paul is just breaking him down. So what are they going to do?
But if you tell me that P.J. Tucker's going to make 5
No,
threes every game
from
here on,
Yeah, but here's the difference. Let's go back to Steph real quick. We can't. I don't want to use the excuse about Steph being hurt or not 100% because we didn't use it in the Pelican series when he played well. So just forget about that.
Yes.
Leave that alone. What Houston has done, especially last night, I was just looking at some numbers here. Wide open 3-point shots, 13 in game 1, 14 in game 2. Not a big difference.
Right.
Assists off of made field goals, 46 in game 1, 51 in game 2. Not a big difference. But the big difference was the quick decisions Houston made. When the ball got swung around the court, now guys were going off the dribble and they were attacking Golden State quick. So it looked like Golden State, and you said it, Shannon, were a step behind. And isn't that what Golden State does to a lot of teams?
Yes.
So last night, Houston made the adjustment of, okay, as soon as I get the ball and it swings, I'm going to attack. It may be one-on-one, but I'm going to make a quicker decision and force Golden State to now have to guard because they have the bodies that can do it. And I thought Houston's offensive game plan and willingness to move the ball in their bodies opened up opportunities for them.
That's what makes the Hampton 5 lineup so dangerous. Iggy can play D. Draymond can play D. Kevin Durant is 7 foot tall, can play D. Clay can play D. So really the only guy that's not known as a defender is Steph.
Yep.
But you can hide that because you got 4 other elite level defenders out there that's so long and so athletic. But when you get him one-on-one, you get him isolated, you get him away from the pack. That's what you got to do. That's what, when they hunt, what animals do. They try to get the weak one from the pack, and we take advantage of you, Skip.
Okay.
Like me.
I hear all that. Yeah.
I get you away from everybody else, and I take advantage of you. Isolate you.
You sit in the hottest seat in sports media, sitting across from
I do.
you know? Look, I hate to reduce the game of pro basketball to a 3-point shooting contest, but it just often comes right down to that.
Yes.
Even with your Cavaliers,
Yes.
they need to make 15 threes from somebody.
Yep.
Either LeBron's going to have a hot hand, or you need 3 other guys to have hot hands. And in this case last night, 2 guys, Eric Gordon, you anticipate, but he made 6, but P.J. Tucker made 5 threes. So all of a sudden, they make 16 threes, and Golden State, unusually, Steph is 1 for 8, and then I don't know what happened to Clay. He only took 4, but he made 2. So when they only make 3 threes with those 2 guys, you got a chance. Because what shuts up the away crowd faster than anything, it's Steph making 3 after 3. When he makes 7 or 8 threes, it just shuts down the home crowd. And look at the score. So it's 16 threes to 9 threes. Okay, so that's 7 times 3, that's 21 points, and that's just about exactly the difference in the score, right?
Yeah.
So I know when my Spurs are playing Golden State, I just hope and pray that Steph and Clay are going to go cold for no apparent reason.
Yes.
You can get hands in their face or not, but if they don't make threes, you got a shot.
Got a shot.
All right? And they had a shot, and they took their shot, and they made their threes last night. And if your Cavaliers make a bunch of threes against Boston, you'll be just fine in games 3 and 4.
So moving forward, do you believe P.J. Tucker, Ariza, and Gordon will be 12 of 18?
Yeah, especially on the road.
Yeah.
No.
Especially on the road.
Especially P.J. Tucker.
Yeah.
That was all-time career
Now,
night.
he is good in the short porches. Now, in the corners, he's very good. He loves to spot up in those corners. So if you tell me they're going to be somewhere around this, we might have a series that can get to 7 games. But if not, I just don't believe Steph Curry will continue to struggle with his shot like he's
Look
been
for a
struggling
couple
with it.
good games for
Yeah.
Steph at home.
Does anybody sitting at this table believe that Houston can win a single game at Golden State? A single game? I'm a no.
I say they win game. I can say that if they wanted to win
No.
game 4. Game 4 would be the game.
Well, you going to bet on it?
Don't fall in the trap, Shannon.
Yep.
Yeah?
We're going to put something on it? Let's put something on it.
Give me
Some of that hen dog.
Give me okay.
Give it some of that
Bet.
little hen
Run it.
dog.
Got it.
Got it.
You got hen
He
dog
got
on
hen
it?
Yeah,
dog.
because he has plenty.
That's what I'm saying. It's free.
It's
He's playing with house
free
money.
and not one
He's
bottle
playing
is
with house
open.
money.
I'm going
Exactly.
to have more.
Do I get a non-alcoholic beverage on this?
No.
No?
We got Sprite coming up on our bet.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'll take would you say 5?
5 points.
I'll take 5.
You going to give me 5 in
Yeah,
game 4?
I'll give you 5.
In game 4? Mm-hmm. Okay.
5 points. You got it. Deal.
All right.
Way to go. Thank you.
Jim, thanks for joining us. Well, the Cavs come back and beat the Celtics. We'll discuss that with Michael Rappaport next.
No mercy.
LeBron and the Cavs are down 0-2 in the Eastern Conference Finals, but the series shifts to Cleveland for Game 3 on Saturday. The Celtics have won the first 2 games by double digits, but after the loss on Tuesday, LeBron said he's, quote, not going to lose sleep over it. We're joined now by a friend of the show and host of the I Am Rappaport Stereo podcast, Michael Rappaport. Welcome back.
How are you, Michael?
Glad to be here.
Been too long.
Glad to be here.
Yeah,
Excited to be here. This is a perfect day for me to be
is.
here.
I would agree. This is a big moment for you in your career.
Big moment for me in my
Come back
career.
Monday.
Talk about not sleeping
Come
last
back
night.
Monday.
Oh, I don't need to come back Monday. You know what I'm going to come back Monday to? I brought you a gift. I brought you a gift. Start cleaning it up, my man. This is for you. It's signed, signatured, customized for you. Start cleaning up now. Tidy up the joint
Get that
now.
bull out of here.
Clean it up. Keep it right there. Bring to because that's going to be there when you lose sleep. When the party.
Wait, are you predicting a
How
sweep?
much trouble are the Cavs in?
They're in an enormous amount of trouble. Okay, and as fantastic, and as great, and as all the adjectives, adverbs, goatish as he was in the first round, and the scaredy cat Toronto Raptors in the second round, the party is over because my Boston Celtics.
Yours?
Yeah.
When did they become yours?
I'm renting them. I'm renting them for
No,
the next.
Nick's your team.
Yeah, Nick's my team, but for right now, my Boston Celtics are going to shut down your guy, and he's going to be leaving in the darkness of the night, coming to Los Angeles. Get the packing supplies, get the moving supplies, get the trucks. The party's over.
They're gonna shut him down like game 2?
They're gonna shut him. He could score 75 points. Go for 100. Break all the records you want. You're so great. You decimated the team. You're so great. You got rid of David Blatt. You're so great. You make all these decisions. You're so great. You got guys coming in wearing matching suits. You're such a mastermind. You're so smart. You're so this. You're so that. You're so this. You're so that. The party is over, and it's his fault. I don't care about the 50-piece. Go for a 50-piece. He made the entire NBA change the schedule. We need rest days. We need rest days. Oh, so what am I going to do? I'm going to play all 82 games. We need rest days. We need rest days. I'm going to go put everything in the first round. We need rest days. We're going to sweep through Toronto. I mean, how many more excuses do we need?
You got to get that out your heart.
Well, there's no doubt. Listen, I said he was great. You got me on videotape saying I did it.
What did you say?
I said he was great. He was fantastic.
What else you say?
I said he may or may not have a better longevity of a career than Michael.
No, that's what you said.
It doesn't matter. The point is that the party's over. This never happened to Michael Jordan. And I'm going to tell you something about your guy, who I call Glassjaw James, who's been quoted as saying, I'm a football player.
Yeah.
I'm 269 pounds. 269 pounds. Have you ever seen a guy, I haven't seen figure skaters. Tanya Harding didn't go to the locker room as much as LeBron James.
Stop.
Every 2 seconds is a cheer.
The man took one flush on the chin, Michael.
You're a football player. That would have nothing to you.
Yeah.
That was like first down and 10.
I got one flush on the chin, and I don't remember anything else after that. But that's here or there. All the Celtics did was hold serve at home. They did what they were.
This ain't the 80s. In the 80s, that happened.
They held serve at home. We know, we've seen this team throughout the playoffs. They average 15 fewer points on the road than they do at home. So this is what we know. 110 at home, 95 on the road. They're 1-4 on the road. Now, Kevin Love and LeBron, I expect them to continue doing what they do.
Glad you said Kevin Love's name, because you acted like he's playing by himself out there. This is the first time he said his name all day.
No, actually, did you see him in the Indy series?
Who cares?
Okay.
Your guy did it. Your guy did it.
Okay.
He doesn't make other people feel good about themselves. Maybe Kevin Love was like, do it by yourself, tough guy.
I can't make you feel good about yourself. I can't.
Jordan did.
Go look at no.
Jordan did.
Look in the mirror.
I look fantastic.
Yeah, exactly. Skip, since they lost that opening game to Indiana, they won 5 straight at home. I expect that crowd at the Q going to be bonkers. LeBron James going to come out there. He going to get his thing going early. He going to get everybody else involved, and we're going to run away and hide, and I'm going to be,
on that hen.
No, I ain't going to be on that hen. I'm saving this for Monday.
He's going to be on that run because he's not even going to come in.
I'm coming in because I ordered something special. Special for you.
Oh, something
and
special.
You.
You keep talking about that special. You haven't been able to unveil it because he
able
won't
to,
let you.
No, he going to let me this week.
No.
Because I had a talk
So,
to him.
Michael Rappaport, I love the direction you're going. I need you to finish it off with a prediction. The Celtics will win in what?
5.
5.
Yeah, they're going to win in 5 in Boston. My Celtics will win in Boston.
How exactly did they become your Celtics?
I'm renting them, short-term rental.
Because he hate LeBron.
Yeah.
He remind you of that guy and Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
The one that was riding the bicycle. He had the Larry Bird jersey on. That's him right there. That was you.
For this week.
No.
For this week. Listen, it's tough for me. This is how much I want to see your guy go down.
Why?
As a New York Knicks, because I don't like all the theatrics. I don't like the drama. I don't like the baby. I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it.
Well,
your guy is soft.
But you want him with the Knicks.
No, I don't. We don't want him. He ain't ready for those bright lights and that big city and the greatness
Don't
of
do
David
that.
Fisdale. And your guy, and all this David, this LeBron James and Michael Jordan stuff. Like, your guy is so tough. What would he have done with all that hand checking and that pushing and those Anthony Mason?
You adjust to the times in which you play in.
Yeah,
baby,
right.
Michael Rappaport, the last time LeBron visited Madison Square Garden, he wore sneakers that said, "I'm king." Remember those? "I'm king."
Yeah.
And he showed why.
Okay.
It means nothing.
So-
it don't mean a thing if you ain't got those rings. It don't mean a thing.
He got 3 of them.
It means nothing. Those
missed out on
things are
5 of
dusty.
them.
He needs to keep them things polished. They're old. That's things of the past.
So, Michael Rappaport, for once you are spitting truth from
Yes,
that seat.
yes.
Because I loved where you're going about going to the locker room inexplicably, because let's go back to Game 7 against Indiana. A minute left in the third quarter.
does that?
I don't know what happened. I still don't
Tanya
know.
Harding.
He was
Tanya
starting
Harding.
to cramp.
He said he was cramping, but he wasn't limping.
No other
He wasn't
player.
grimacing.
Why?
I don't know. What
Why is
happened?
he wanted everybody. He got to play 82 games. They changed the schedule because Glassjaw LeBron wanted the schedule changed. He wanted more rest, and he's still cramping. Why is he the only player that happens to?
I don't know.
Why is he the only player who could go for 15 years?
Because he's 6'9", 260 pounds, and name the guy that's 6'9", 250 or more that has the
Is
responsibility.
he 250 or 260? I mean, he just
260.
lost 10 pounds
I
in
give him
5 seconds.
I give him 260.
I want that diet.
259.
Why was he the only player in Game 1 of the 2014 Finals in San Antonio who cramped?
It
I
was
don't
hot.
know why.
I was hot at watching
Yeah,
the game.
Okay, but
Because they cut the air conditioner off. Skip and them did that on purpose.
maybe we did, but the point is...
maybe we did, huh?
Maybe we did, but nobody else cramped.
Nobody else
cramped.
cramped.
Skip.
Except 6'9", 260.
260.
He knows how to hydrate. Doesn't he know all the nutrition?
Doesn't he have like a sponsorship from a drink, some sort of hydration
Let me ask
drink?
you a question. If you and I were to expend the same, if I'm a little heavier than you are. I don't know. I could be.
Yeah,
but
you are.
I'm gonna say just for the sake of this conversation, I am. Do you think I'm more apt to cramp than you?
Listen, do I look like a scientist? I'm hanging on for dear life doing what I'm doing. You're asking me
I don't
scientific-
think you are. I don't. I
do.
think it's just pure hydration.
I hydrate.
I've seen 110-pound marathon runners just cramp like crazy
Yeah.
because they didn't drink enough water.
Skip, you know what I think you should do? You know what I think you should do?
What?
I think that you should insist that next week, when LeBron James is out of the playoffs, everybody come dressed up the same. For fake camaraderie, to show that you guys are on the
We
same
together.
fake. No, they're not. You're not together. You're over there and nuts. Okay, and I'm over here with right here with my guy Skip.
Whatever.
Okay.
Both of y'all, guess what?
Wait,
I want
is
both
that
of you.
one of those suits?
Why
That
isn't he
looks
wearing?
like it.
Why aren't they wearing the same suits in this series?
They did.
They did. They're wearing.
Oh my God, they are.
Yeah.
How did I miss that?
Yeah, because you been hating. Your eyes blind with hate.
man, I
when your
can't
eyes filled with hate, your heart filled with hate, get it out.
I can't wait. Listen, I'm going to start calling you at home quarter by quarter.
So, Michael Rappaport, all the blind witnesses want to sweep this under Shannon's carpet over there. But you realize in Game 7 against the Pacers, the lowly Pacers, it's going to the wire. And the Cavs are up 1 point with 1 minute left in the third quarter. And LeBron inexplicably, mysteriously just says, "I'm out," and he walks to the locker room.
Yep.
He comes back 5 clock minutes later.
Yeah.
And guess what? The lead has ballooned up to 12 in his absence. Kevin Love made 2 threes and a mid-range jump shot. Way to go, Kevin Love.
If you don't mind me asking, had LeBron not been in that series, are the Cavaliers in the playoffs, or do they get to a Game 7 without LeBron?
They don't even make it to the playoffs.
Okay, then thank you.
He's
So
a
that-
very, very, very great player.
Don't say very. Don't say, you ain't got to say very.
He's
Say
the
go.
MVP. Listen, he's the MVP of the season. You know what I don't understand? Why was it okay to hate Larry Bird? Why is it okay to hate Tom Brady? But nobody could have problems with LeBron James. This guy needs so much coddling. He brings so much drama and this fake camaraderie. Remember when Jordan Clarkson, Larry Nance, and Larry Nance Jr. and Hood came and they were dancing and everybody? This is his fault.
No,
David Blatt was sent out of Cleveland like a bad episode.
He shouldn't
of a
have
Showtime.
got the job anyway.
Well, why not? He should have Ty Lue. Ty Lue, we don't know if this guy could coach it. We don't even know if he is the coach.
Well, how do we know Phil Jackson can coach without 4 of the top 10 players to ever play?
Hey,
how do we know?
It's not a coincidence.
How do we know Pat Riley can coach without 5 Hall of Famers? How do we know?
Hey. We'll see what
exactly.
We're going to see what Ty Lue is made of next season.
Great players make great coaches make great players better.
Listen.
So to say how do we know Steve Kerr can coach?
Man, we don't.
I mean, he just got 4 Hall of Famers. He got 4 All-Stars.
He drafted those 3 guys.
He ain't drafted nobody.
They drafted those 3 guys.
Mark Jackson had them players there before Steve Kerr got there.
But the GM drafted. Listen, the party's over, okay? And you know what another thing?
Party ain't even started yet.
This is another thing. This is a similarity between Michael Jordan and LeBron. Michael Jordan, he waited till he retired to become a bad executive. LeBron James invented the player executive, and he's doing a terrible job at it. That's your guy.
That's a good point.
Hold on.
Yeah,
it's not LeBron's fault.
Oh, yes, it is
that
all
he has
his
all this
fault.
power. How do you get power? He can't take it.
They're afraid he's going to leave.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's going to come out here. He's going to be right. He's going to and you could go and you could bring the pom-poms in the cheerleading because he's going to do I don't know what he's going to do.
He'll move to my neighborhood.
Shannon Sharp, I need your final revised prediction on this series. Cavs in what?
7.
7? You're going all the way to 7?
7.
That means the Celtics are going to win another game here somewhere along the
But I tell you what, they're not winning one in Cleveland.
Oh.
How many more trips to the locker room will he need to get to game 7?
He might need 15.
Okay.
But I tell you what, he's going to come out and stand on that podium, win the Eastern Conference champ.
I'll be back here with that, and you start tidying up,
you know what?
my friend.
Custer said the same thing. I'll be back. He went up to Little Bighorn and they ain't
seen him. He did not say that. He did not say that.
They ain't seen him.
Patriots way too arrogant. We'll discuss that next.
Skip, don't ruin it.
No mercy.
The Eagles beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl back in February, and offensive lineman Lane Johnson is still talking trash to New England. After that game, he said the Patriots were a fear-based organization, and they did not look like a fun team to play for. Earlier this week, he took more shots at them. Let's take a listen.
Here's what pissed me off is, the Patriots, obviously, I respect their coach, I respect Bill, I respect Tom Brady. But just because the way they won the Super Bowls, the Patriot way, is that how everybody else is supposed to do the same thing? No, it's not. I got mad at the arrogance by them. There's obviously some stuff behind closed doors. Their owner talked to our owner. Bill talked to our head coach for the game. I'm not going to say it, but, a lot of kind of built up to that. And I just got tired of hearing about it, man.
Michael Rappaport is still with us. Lane taking a little page out of your trash talking book, Never Given Up.
Well, he says that irritated him. You know what irritates me as a fan? Offensive tackles that use PEDs. That irritates me.
Whoa,
I like it.
That irritates me. No, whoa.
Boom.
That irritates me. Because my man had 1 suspension lifted. He had another suspension for 10 games. He should keep his mouth shut. Okay, and I'm going to sit here and say, I can't stand the Patriots. I've been on this show many times.
Yes.
Year after year after year after year. I thought they were done when my Giants beat them the first time. I thought they were done when my Giants beat them the second time. I thought they were done when they didn't make the Super Bowl. I thought they were done last year. Lane Johnson could sit there and talk about this. Everybody could talk about that. I could say boo-hoo-hoo and the Patriots way and this, that, and the other. You got a problem with them? Beat them. Nobody's going to be talking about the Philadelphia Eagles in 2 seasons.
Yes, they will.
They're not doing what the Patriots. We're not going to be discussing them in 18 years.
No.
So the thing is like, listen, we could sit here and talk about how irritating they are and how arrogant they are. I'd be arrogant too if I've been rocking in professional football for 18 years. They have a right to be arrogant, and I can't stand it.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
You're supposed to show humility.
You're not supposed to show
Be humble.
But a guy who was suspended for PEDs shouldn't be saying anything. You won, keep it moving, and let me get a little pee sample, homeboy. Let me get a pee sample before you start talking.
Yeah, I hear you.
I disagree with him. I love Lane Johnson. I told you. Order me a 65 jersey to go with my Carson Wentz jersey.
Yep.
11.
Yep.
Yeah. Because he's upset because you happen to be in that division with the Eagles. And Carson Wentz isn't going anywhere, and your quarterback had his best days years ago.
We got one more run.
And your quarterback got
He's
a dick.
coming, man.
He ain't coming nowhere.
Yeah, he is.
And it's true. Everything Lane Johnson said is true. They are arrogant. Oh, and they're robotic. Because you ask one guy the question, you ask the 15th guy the same question, he's going to give you the same answer. No personality. The only person that got personality in that locker room is Gronk. That's why I like Gronk, because Gronk bucked the system. I like guys that
The
buck
guy you said was the greatest tight end ever. You said that.
He might be one day. Right now, I currently sit on that throne. So
I'm not going to argue
That's
that.
not what I remember
But
you saying one day. But go
I
ahead.
said had he won the Super Bowl, I might have to give him some kudos. It's hard though, Skip. They won the Super Bowl without him. But I did get hurt in the first Super Bowl, so they kind of won without me too. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there.
I didn't know that.
Big of you to admit
I got hurt. I got hurt early on, but I got him to the 1 yard line. I got to do something. But anyway, Skip, stop trying to make me lose my train of thought.
Yeah.
I love everything Lane Johnson said. They was talking crap because I can imagine what they said. Mr. Kraft probably told Mr. Lurie, hey, you guys have had a great season. We ain't played the game, so basically it's good for y'all to get here, but we gonna wax y'all. Coach Belichick probably said, oh, Doug, you're doing a great job. Great team you got there. Congratulations on the season you had.
Yeah.
Oh, really? He probably wouldn't hold look at guys. They already congratulating us on the season. But what they're trying to say is that they're going to beat our bus, but we've had a great season thus far. Let's go ahead and give it to them. 1, 2, 3, break. And that's what they did. They wiped the floor with them.
They didn't wipe anything. What was the score of that
game?
They didn't wipe anything.
If your team picks second in the NFL draft, I don't want to hear you say foot or ball for the remaining of the show. Your turn,
Football. I'm saying it. It's 41-33 because Bill Belichick sabotaged Tom Brady by not playing his best defensive player, Malcolm Butler, the entire game.
Patriot way.
So Lane Johnson had the audacity in his 15 minutes of fame that are about to run out.
I wouldn't even say 15, about
maybe
11.
13. Okay, 11.
Maybe 10 for the amount of games he was suspended for PEDs.
Stop it.
He said, I saw a Patriots defense that wasn't overly talented. It's because he didn't see Malcolm Butler for reasons I still don't understand, and Tom Brady still does not understand, that you suddenly doghouse that guy who played 98% of your snaps during the regular season and you don't play him one snap in the Super Bowl?
He didn't say they weren't good. He said they weren't over-talented. They don't have a guy on that defense that's probably top 6, top 7 at any position on that defense. Name a guy that's top 6 or 7 on that entire defense.
Okay, but Malcolm Butler's top 10 cornerback.
Okay.
And at his position, he is the most talented player on the defense at his position.
I thought you liked Gilmore.
I don't know. He comes and goes. He was the hottest cornerback on the market.
Right.
I'll take Malcolm Butler over Stephon Gilmore. As a playmaker, as a ball hawk, didn't catch balls that hit any hands all the time, but did he not make the greatest defensive play in the history of the Super Bowl?
In the history of the NFL.
Okay. All right. So could he have not made 1 or 2 plays?
Yes, he could have.
On the backup quarterback who put up 41 points?
Is that the Patriot way?
That's
Coach Belichick does what he wants to do
Hey,
when
listen,
he wants to do it.
I said, listen, I rooted for the Eagles. It was just against my nature, just like it's against my nature to root for the Celtics. I rooted for the Eagles to beat the Patriots. That's how much I hate the Patriots. But this guy, I don't know what he's talking about. It's like, continue to do it. They've been doing it for 18 years, so we can sit here and hate, and we don't like it. Do something about it,
He did.
Okay?
He did it.
And in order to keep talking, you got to keep coming back and doing it.
They did what many thought couldn't be done.
And they won it, so let's see what happened. In 4 years, they won't even be discussion. This team will be broken up just like the Seattle Seahawks. We thought they were going to be
No. What you call broke that up? Pete Carroll broke that team up.
It's always this, that, and the other. I'm saying the only ones who've been able to do this for whatever reason are the Patriots.
But the Patriot way won them a Super Bowl. Because how did Malcolm Butler get inserted into the game in Super Bowl 49? Because Kyle Arrington, was struggling.
Struggling? He was getting roasted.
Exactly. So now they insert Malcolm Butler, who only played 18 snaps. But you don't remember those snaps. You remember that one play, the previous, because he's about to be the GOAT, Skip, because remember the guy caught the ball off his back, got up, and he tackled him at like the 5-yard line.
Yep.
That's the Patriots way.
Maybe
and he got tired of hearing it.
He transcended the Patriot way. He made a play outside the system.
Well, hey, he got tired of hearing about the Patriots way. I used to get tired of my teachers because my brother was 3 years older than me, Joey. Why you can't be quiet like your brother Sterling? Because I hate Sterling. And I'm going to be disruptive. And now that you said that, I'm going to be more disruptive.
The more talented Sharp. I mean, Sterling was a way better player. Let's be honest.
True.
I mean,
He was.
Way better player.
But
I thought he was pretty outspoken.
No.
I thought he was
I just know he was a better player.
He tried to be studious. He tried to make me look bad by being all quiet and do his homework. Because he knew I was coming down the pipeline and I wasn't going to do no homework and I was going to be bad.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Interesting. So my bottom line on Lane is that he should stay in his lane and realize just how lucky they were last year to get out of the NFC East, because what happened? Let's do the truth of the NFC East last year. The Giants were decimated. Right?
Yes.
Everybody got hurt.
Everybody.
Everybody.
Saquon's in the house.
Yeah, Saquon's in the house.
Really?
Saquon is in the house.
What happened to the Washington Redskins? They were a disaster last year. What happened to my Cowboys? Zeke gone for 6 games. Sean Lee gone for 6 games. Everything went wrong. Ty Smith got hurt. Everything went wrong that could have gone wrong, and they go 9-7 with everything gone wrong. And all of a sudden, the Eagles get to emerge and get home field out of the NFC East. So it was just one of those meant-to-be lucky years, and he's spouting off
Watch
against
they
the
follow it
Patriots.
up. They're going to follow it up again.
They are
Do
not
what?
gonna
You're going to make
follow it up.
another excuse, talk about what the Giants did this.
Saquon's in the house. So you're expecting the Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl this year again?
I don't care if y'all got Charles Barkley in the house.
Okay, but are the Philadelphia Eagles going to win the
They're
Super
going
Bowl?
to win the NFC East. Is that the division the Giants are in? Is that the division the Cowboys are in? They will win the division over your team and your team.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
Y'all gonna be next to last.
No.
Because I think Washington gonna be last. No. I take that back. Y'all will be third.
Eli will rise
Cowboys
once
will be
more.
last.
There will be one more rising for
Cowboys
Eli.
will finish last. We already got a case of do.
Listen, I'm trying to stay focused on the teams I hate. Patriots being one, Cowboys being second. But I'm letting you know the Philadelphia Eagles, they shouldn't be talking until they run it.
When the Giants run it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying no one is in the league of the Patriots. I'm saying I thought we had them killed the last time we beat them. They keep coming back. It's like Jason. It's like a horror movie. It never ends.
When are y'all gonna get back? First of all, when y'all getting back to the Super Bowl?
Listen, we're gonna be better this year than we were last year. What is your team, man?
Whoa,
what is your team?
Well, he doesn't really have a team. Sometimes it's the
Super Bowl 50.
Broncos.
Who won Super Bowl 50?
Right now it's the Eagles, but it's not really
Who
the
won
Eagles.
Super Bowl 50?
They did.
The Broncos did.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's my team.
Oh.
But you haven't mentioned the Broncos. You've
But
been
right now
spouting
it's the Eagles because the
So
Eagles won.
do you realize that the quarterback you love, walk it to him, wins?
Yep.
Is the backup quarterback?
Yeah.
Do you realize
What's he gonna do?
Nick Foles?
He gonna start.
Nick Foles was the Super Bowl MVP. What are you going to do about that? There's no way Carson Wentz would have played that well.
Nick Foles got a surface with his name on it. Hey, Carson, did you see this right here? Yeah, that's what he's going to be talking about on the sideline. Yeah.
We'll
with
see
a
how
head
long that works.
Yep.
Oh, first of all, look, your quarterback, you know your quarterback's done.
No, he ain't. You got one more, the rising of Eli. Saquon's in the house.
Oh,
ODB's in the house.
I don't care if you got the book of Eli. It's over. O-B-A.
I don't agree.
Over.
I don't agree. Those tears
And
last
you're
year.
going to regret not taking a quarterback.
Well, no, next year we'll get a quarterback. We're good right now. We got one more run with Eli. He's got that grit. You know about that Manning grit.
I'm about to file a lawsuit, too, because I got a fake jersey and a fake helmet, Skip. Since you bringing up stuff. Yeah.
That's a deep dig.
Wow.
I'm telling everything I know.
Wow.
I'm finna pull a Michael Cohen.
Wow.
I ain't going to jail for nobody.
Wow. He just pulled he's still talking about jerseys. And, man, are we still on the air?
Yeah, we on there. You talk about my man Lane Johnson.
Yeah,
your man Lane Johnson.
Yeah, we gotta leave it there, Michael.
He's on that jungle juice, your man Lane Johnson.
But Terrell Owens still play in the NFL. We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Terrell Owens will be heading to the Hall of Fame in a few months, but apparently he thinks he can still play in the NFL. T.O. posted a video of himself working out earlier this week, but he's 44 years old and last played in a game in 2010. Let's take a listen to T.O.
Hey, OBJ, Dez Bryant, I know y'all in L.A. Come on, let's get this work. Hit me up on the celly, 678-977. You got the rest.
We're joined by Fox NFL analyst Mark Schlereth. Welcome, Mark.
Good.
First, Shannon, could T.O. still play in the NFL?
No, it's easy to say that you can still play when you know you're not going to get an opportunity for someone to dispel that. I'm in great shape, but after not playing for an extended period of time, Skip, you can't take those hits. T.O., there have been almost 25,000 men that played this game, Skip. And in 3 months, T.O. is going to a place, he's going to football heaven, Valhalla, Mecca, where the greatest football players reside. Not the Hall of Very Good, not the Hall of Longevity. Yep. T.O. is about to be one of the 350th men to have a gold jacket of nearly 25,000 men. There's nothing, if T.O. caught another 1,000-yard season, it's not going to change the perception of that people have of T.O. What is it that T.O. feels that he needs to accomplish now that he didn't get done? He was when he retired, he had the third most touchdowns. He was like fourth in yards. What I don't get is what is it that he hopes to accomplish by playing at this age? He's 44. When T.O. retired, he tried to come back with Seattle, and then that was short-lived, and then it was gone away.
Yep.
And no one gave him another try then. Do you actually think somebody's going to actually call him now, Skip, 8 years after the fact, and say, T.O., we want you to come try out? I can assure you, as great as Tom Brady is, 8 years after he retired, nobody's calling Tom Brady to play a game of football, Skip. I'm racking my brains trying to think or figure out what is it T.O. wants to accomplish or hopes to accomplish that he hadn't already accomplished that can change the perception that he has of himself or people have of him. I just don't get this.
I will tell you this. Like, I still think that I could play.
I believe you.
You know, I'm still strong enough to play right up until the point somebody hits me.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like tapping out because I don't want to get hit anymore. I'm old. I'm brittle. I'm broken. And I think that's the thing that we all
By the way,
still,
how many surgeries? What
29.
29. Go ahead.
But I still, like, we all have those illusions of grandeur. And you know, I look in the mirror today and I still see 23. That's just the way I look at myself. Like, I still feel like I can do it. I know that I couldn't do it. I know that I'm old and I'm broken. I'm not the player that T.O. was or that Shannon was, but I was a pretty decent player. And I know that your body just gets to the point. I tell you the one thing that happens to you when you walk away, you lose the callus of playing. Like, you get calloused to getting hit, and you get used to it. And you know what ends up stopping you from playing is your desire to take those hits. When you stop, like when you start looking at it like, man, I don't want to get hit like that anymore. I don't ever want to hit like that again. You get to the point where you're just like, this game is not for me. At 44 years old, in and out of breaks, the elite level quick, you can do things like I can still bench a lot, I can still lift a lot, you know. But it's all those other things, man. Like, you get hit one time, you get stabbed in the chest one time, you get a mouthful of Rydell one time, and you're like, ooh, no, thank you.
So here's what I see happening with today's NFL players and some ex-NFL players. Tom Brady is messing with everybody's mind. Tom Brady is saying, I will play until I'm 45 years of age. Terrell is now 44 years of age. And he hears this, even though it's obviously a very different position. But now we have Drew Brees saying, hey, I think I could play until I'm 45. And Aaron Rodgers is saying, what is he, 35? I can play into my 40s.
Ben, I got 3 or 5 more years than me. He's 36.
So all of a sudden, Tom Brady is shattering the mold because at 40 years of age, he just won the MVP and he set the all-time playoff record in the Super Bowl, 505 yards passing. That's pretty great at 40 years of age. Right. So you don't see any decline in his game yet. Will you see it next year? I don't know. I don't think so. But he's saying, I have figured this out through pliability and my stretching method and my trainer and blah, blah, blah. You know, he's got a whole new approach to the game. And he's saying, I've reinvented this wheel. I can definitely play. If my heart's still in it, I can play until I'm 45. Yes. So Terrell, I know him well enough to know he just can't find anything that scratches the itch of playing football because it's hard, man. Yes. It's, you know, he can't replace the rush of NFL Sunday in the weight room or out on the practice field running sprints with ODB or whoever it is, you know, right?
Tell him to come do CrossFit with me. That'll replace it.
Okay, but you miss that. I know you missed what. Okay.
You know what happened to me, Skip? When you get away from the game, even if it's just for the break that you get at the end of the season to start back the training camp, your spidey senses. I can know where defense, and I knew where the hit was going to come from. When you move away from the game, all of a sudden, those crashes that, okay, this was this coverage, the guy should hit me here, you lose that, Skip.
Okay, I got it. But I've always said this about Terrell. Nobody worked harder and played harder than Terrell Owens.
Oh, yeah, he played angry.
So just like hypothetically, if I made him a 4th or a 5th receiver on an NFL team, do I think he could catch X number of balls, you know, contribute a little bit? I do. Now, again, to your point about getting hit, I don't know how he'd take that, but he's a tough guy. And he's mentally tough enough he could endure that. The irony is, for all of his playing hard and working hard, I'm going to say it one more time, he was a terrible teammate, especially in his first 3 stops. So that it's a contradiction of, you know, for NFL teams, well, we don't want to wish that upon ourselves because he turned on coaches and quarterbacks, as we know. So he's got that quote-unquote baggage. He had no baggage off the field. It was all on the field.
I know one thing about the difference between quarterback and wide receiver.
Yeah.
is that they put red jerseys on the quarterbacks in practice,
Okay.
and you get hit in games. I
Hey,
get it,
hey, listen.
but not like you used to get hit in games,
But
and you
hey.
don't get touched anywhere else.
Okay, but Tom Brady, a few times last year, especially in the playoffs, he got rocked. I mean, he got leveled. Where I'm like, God, is he going to get up from that?
But they don't let you put the helmet on anybody anymore.
No.
The guys used to drill you with that the crown of their helmet in your chest.
He
in your
did,
chin.
but it's you have a whole week to recover.
No,
you're not running routes. You're not
Nope.
doing. You're not doing that. You're not getting stabbed in the chest and running a route and having that lean. Even in the no contact, like even when they take the pads off, like we used to joke about it all the time when we were playing. It's full speed, no pads.
That's
and
it.
it was full contact. The only thing that was different was when you got me to you, that collision stopped. We pulled up.
Right.
There was no collision.
Yeah.
But the hand-to-hand combat was real. It was the way we practiced. It was full go. And that, just the overall attrition that happens to you over the course of OTAs, mini camps, training camp. And even though it's not like it used to be when we were playing, when we used to, beat each other up in practice, it still is a real physical game.
Yeah.
And your body at 44, I just don't think your body would would survive.
Remember Herschel Walker said, I can still play in the NFL at 55. It's easy to say that because no one's going to give you the opportunity to dispel that. T.O.'s not playing at 44.
Hey, Jim Brown in his 50s was saying, I could still play, and I was saying, he probably could, Jim Brown.
I get out there one time.
Huh?
And then he get hit.
Right.
And he look shattered like ice.
I'm 52. I could play. One play.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
that's all I could play.
Two guys who occasionally sit in that seat are Steven Jackson and Kenyon Martin. They play now stars in the Big Three, and they both believe with all their heart and soul they could play in the NBA, play 15 minutes a night, tonight, right now, and give you, 7 points and 5 rebounds. Contribute off the bench.
And they
do I
probably
believe
could.
they could? Yeah, I do. Now it's a different game.
And it's physical. And it's physical. Even if you take the basketball of the 80s and the 90s or the 70s, it pales in comparison to what they do even in today's NFL.
Yeah.
Forget what it was like in the 80s, the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. That was a whole different ball game. So I get it. Kenyon Martin, Kmart, and Stacks, they probably could play a couple of minutes a night. But that's a different animal there. Basketball players don't get in car wrecks. Football players get in car wrecks every 65 times a game. T.O. don't want these kind of problems anymore, Skip. He don't want it.
You should just come to CrossFit with you.
Yeah, you could just come on the CrossFit. I would take. You know what? I got
something
coming
CrossFit with him.
No, but you know how you know a person that does CrossFit?
They have to tell you that they went to CrossFit.
Yeah, you just wait 2 seconds.
If you don't tell someone you went to CrossFit, you didn't actually go.
I go to CrossFit.
The calories you burned didn't actually.
I got something coming down the pipeline for y'all in a couple of weeks, Skip. I would take my shirt off and say, hey.
You know what I do? I do what we call cross fat, and that's why it hasn't been working for me.
Yeah, cross fat, burgers, pizza, chicken.
And lay on my couch. Hey, you know what? I'll do CrossFit with you. You come do cross fat with me.
No, I can't do it. I got to get up and, exercise.
Do you?
Yeah.
What about those cheat Saturdays that you
have? Oh, yeah.
Whoa, what you looking at? Hold on, what you looking at my Instagram for, Skip?
I don't know.
You just
do know.
I don't. Joy told me about it. I don't know.
I mean, let me live. Let me live my best life.
And French fries.
Really?
That was like
Hamburgers.
one time.
Shannon Sharp, you cannot have your cake and eat it too.
What I'm supposed to do with it? You look at it? That was exactly what I'm going to do with my cake. Eat it.
Mark, thanks for joining us. Who should win the MVP, Harden or LeBron?
For real?
We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Last night, the NBA announced the MVP finalists, and they are James Harden, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Harden led the league this season at over 30 points per game, and LeBron averaged about 28, 9, and 9 this season. The winner will be announced late June. Shannon, keep it real.
Keep it very real.
Who should win?
I'm going to keep it all the way 100 with you, Skip. LeBron James, and it should be unanimous.
Are you serious?
Absolutely, for certain.
Have you completely lost all perspective?
No. I feel very comfortable in saying this. I feel real good about where I'm where I am in this position. Skip, think about it. LeBron took a team that won 51 games last year with Kyrie Irving to a team minus Kyrie and a injured Isaiah Thomas and Jay Crowder to 50 wins this year. I mean, how did James Harden become the MVP when he as a Hall of Famer, All-NBA, All-Star point guard? How? Because this is what we know. Without Chris Paul, they were 15-8. That would have been a 53-win pace. With Chris Paul, they're 50-8. So he adds Chris Paul, wins 10 more games. LeBron loses Kyrie Irving, loses one less game, and James Harden is more. So James Harden becomes more valuable once he added Chris Paul. How that? Where and who does that make sense to, Skip? You and I both know LeBron James is the MVP. Without LeBron James, the Cavaliers are a lottery team. Without James Harden, the Houston Rockets are a playoff team, even in the West.
Interesting. I'm sorry, but this is not even close, and you made a fine case. I know you had a lot of help with it.
I have no help. It's all me.
What's my favorite stat in basketball? PER. It says it all just the way QBR says it all about quarterback play. James Harden led the NBA. LeBron James was third in the NBA. James Harden led the NBA in scoring. LeBron James was third in the NBA in scoring. James, well, wait, we got to go to defense because defense counts. I know in the GOAT discussion, the blind witnesses out there, they just eliminate defense. It doesn't count, but I'm going to count it in the MVP debate here because James Harden really improved. He worked hard to improve on defense, and he vaulted all the way up to 37th in individual defensive win shares this year because Houston was much better on defense than they have been in his past years.
Ariza,
37th, and LeBron plummeted all the way to 309th, which was the worst defensive year by far
If you don't mind me asking, do you feel comfortable in saying that James Harden is a better individual defender than LeBron James? Do you feel comfortable saying that?
He played much better.
No, I'm just asking. No,
I told you, LeBron just quit trying to play defense.
Skip, and remember,
I don't care. It's how you perform. That's the MVP.
See, that's the biggest fallacy, Skip, right there. Because you add Tucker, you have Ariza, you have Capella. You have P.J. Tucker. So you have four guys that are elite level defenders, and James Harden get clumped into that. Because you see what happened with Steph?
Yeah, James Harden has to defend a lot of point guards.
And he be getting cooked. You know? He be cooking them, but
so
they be cooking
LeBron James in a 19-game stretch from Christmas to February 6th had an abysmal, unbelievably bad plus-minus when you're on the court. What's the score of your team, right? He was minus 147, which was the worst in the entire National Basketball Association for 19 games. So you're disqualified right off the bat there.
Stop it.
Because that is just horrendous. He had his worst plus-minus season of his career since his rookie year. In plus-minus overall, it was 147. He tied with Marcin Gortat. Really? That's all you got? That's 96th?
Think about it. So let that sink in. Marcin Gortat and LeBron James had the same plus-minus.
Yeah. Ranked 96th?
Where is Gortat's team?
Well, I don't know. Where's LeBron's team?
They play in the Eastern Conference Finals.
So James Harden had the best plus-minus of his career of plus 523, which is just staggering to me. And remember, Chris Paul missed 24 games this year, and they still won the most games, 65 games.
But here's the thing, though, Skip. Is it a coincidence that he has his best plus-minus ever the year he gets a Hall of Fame point guard?
I don't know.
Could that be? Is there any correlation?
He missed 24 games, and that PER stat just screams that he had the best overall year.
Actually, he missed 23 games, and they were 15-8.
I got 24.
Okay, well, so what? Okay, if they're 16-8, I give them that. So they won more games. 16-8.
Yeah.
16-8 without Chris Paul. Now LeBron James win one fewer game without Kyrie.
You know, it's an interesting question that you ask. Is LeBron individually a better defender than James Harden?
Yes.
Well, sure, in a vacuum, hypothetically.
In a vacuum, in a gym, on the blacktop.
Once upon a time.
In a phone booth.
He should be 10 times better than James Harden on defense, but he doesn't even try on defense anymore, and you defend it.
Because guess
what?
You
accept it.
Guess what happens? Because James Harden doesn't have to do it. Guess why James Harden got to be a little better defensively? Because Chris Paul can handle some of the assisting. Clint Capella can handle some of the rebounding. Ariza, P.J. Tucker, y'all handle that defense. LeBron. So I'm going to ask you a question, if you don't mind me asking.
But wait a second. James Harden led the league in scoring, so he's doing a whole lot of work on offense, wouldn't you say?
LeBron, who led it? Where was James Harden in rebounding? Where was he on his team in rebounding?
Well, he's the point guard.
What
it's
about
not like he's Russell Westbrook?
Whoa. We're factoring all this into the equation. We're trying to get the MVP, Skip, which means the most valuable player. And I don't care about his position. I just need to know. Where was he rebounding on his team? Where was he at?
He had 10 last night. That's pretty good, right?
Skip, why you keep doing that? Why you want to? Okay,
I got PER. What's it tell you? He was the best player.
Who's leading in PR?
Right?
Who's leading in PR right now in the playoffs?
Well, his team is 0-2.
Whoa, skip.
Yeah.
James Harden team is 1-1, and they play 2 games at home. Let's see what my team record will be.
Well, I don't remember. This is a regular season award, so we cannot be prisoner of the moment of.
You just told
James went 3 for 15 last night. That has nothing to do with it.
I just asked you. I said, well, where did James Harden finish with rebounding on his team?
Yeah.
You told me he had 10 last night.
He did.
So you factored that. Hold on. So if I can't factor in anything that LeBron has done in the playoffs, you can't factor those 10 rebounds.
I will bet you 2 cases of Diet Mountain Dew that James Harden wins the MVP. Want to take it?
It's a flawed system.
It's a flawed
A lot of
system.
your buddies are writing, and you know them, and so you might have some inside information.
I don't
but
think
everybody
I knew
knows. Everybody knows the real MVP.
Nobody knows.
The most valuable player
is James
one LeBron Ramon James, born to Gloria James.
1974.
Is it a good idea to put Baker Mayfield on Hard Knocks? We'll discuss that next.
No mercy.
Time for our final topic of the day. The Browns will be featured on HBO's Hard Knocks. Cleveland is coming off an 0-16 season, but they made several moves this offseason, including drafting Baker Mayfield #1 overall. Shannon, what's your reaction?
I think it'll be good. I mean, Baker Mayfield, the #1 overall draft pick. I like Hugh. Hugh's funny. He can be very entertaining. They got Josh Gordon, so they got some particulars. They're not going to be better than we, because we were the original cast.
You were?
Of Hard Knocks in Baltimore in 2001.
Oh, yeah.
Me, Goose, Ray, Woody.
I forgot you were even on that team.
Don't do that, Skip.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Those are some big personalities, and also Shannon, right?
So basically it was the Ravens, and Shannon was having to tag along.
You just happened to be. You were kind of at the end of the line, right?
No, I was at the front of the line.
You know what? I love this for Baker Mayfield because I believe he will become the star of Hard Knocks. And I believe this will create momentum during which he'll win the starting job in the preseason. And I believe this team will become the surprise team of the NFL, not a playoff team, but win, 6-7 games.
Well, I think Vegas got the over-under at like 5.8 to 5.9 games, so they don't really expect them to. Well, anything is better than 0.
Well, yeah, one game is a dramatic improvement.
No, that's not going to be good enough to keep Hugh his job. But I do believe they'll be much improved from where they were last year.
That receiving core and him winging it.
Yeah.
And creating plays, this is going to be must-see TV for me every Sunday, the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, well, I hope so, Skip, because the fan base is so loyal. They love football up there, and this team hasn't given them a whole lot to cheer about over, say, the last 2 decades. But maybe Baker Mayfield is here. Come on, Hugh Jack, get him right now.
He will.
Because if you don't, I got to do it.
He's got some weapons now.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Joy Taylor. Keep an eye out for a weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring the best discussions and segments from this week. We'll be back with more Undisputed on Monday morning at the same time, 9:30 Eastern. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.